the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023.
Live on RTE 2FM.
Calvin Harris and Feel So Close on 2FM, and it is so close. Very soon Marie Crowe and Alan Cawley are going to be taking over with commentary for Ireland versus Canada. They're both in studio with me right now. We've just got a weather report from Australia. It's lashing like the way it is here as well, so that's an advantage for Ireland. Yes, Alan? Yeah,
it's a home from home, Tracy, for the Irish girls. Yeah, absolutely. You're looking out the window here and the dreadful weather we're having at the moment, but as you say, it seems like it's worse conditions from what we're seeing over there. So yeah, they'll be comfortable with that. It's a massive game, as we all know. We're all building up. There's a lot of hype and excitement around it, and because of the really good performance that they gave in the first game, they're going into this with a lot of hope as well, and hopefully they can do the business, Tracy.
Do you think Vera Pauw is going to change any tactics today with the game plan today, Alan?
No, and that was I suppose the question mark around the lead up to this match. Would she change anything? And we know Vera from covering the games for the last 2, 3, 4 years. She sticks to her structure, she sticks to her plan. She was never really going to change this because of the opposition that we're going in against, because obviously Canada are ranked 7 in the world, so this is a really tough game on paper. So I always felt she was going to leave it the way it was. Obviously she's made one change, she's brought Lucy Quinn. It's like for like, really. It won't change in terms of the tactics. It'll still be the same. The approach, obviously we'll sit in, be defensive. Where to build from, we always build like with a solid foundation and build from there. And the question mark around this team, Tracy, you've probably heard it yourself, is just can we get up the pitch and create enough chances to try and score a goal. But this game is not really about that. I think because we're playing against Canada, it's still more the same of what we've seen against Australia. A little bit more attacking maybe as the game goes on, but I think if we're still in with a shout after this game, going into Nigeria potentially as a shootout to try and qualify, I think Vera would have taken that at the start of the group.
Marie, with Canada, have we played them before? How did we do against them before?
We haven't played this team before, so this team have really hit heights since the Olympics. But the problem, or the good thing for us, is that there's been a lot of off the field problems with Canada. So they've had massive fallings out with their association. They haven't really been supported. Their country hasn't really got behind them in the way that ours have. So things aren't all well within Canada, which really helps us. The girls would have played them. I think there's 5 or 6 of them that played them a few years ago. But this team that have won the Olympics are at a different level, really. But we do have some news coming from Australia. It seems that Heather Payne has picked up an injury. She's pictures of her coming up on the screens that she's in tears, so it seems that it's happened in the warm-up. She wasn't 100%. Now, she wasn't a worry like Louise Quinn, but there was a few question marks over her fitness, but it looks like something has happened. The suggestion is that Anya O'Gorman from Shamrock Rovers might come in as the direct like-for-like swap, but we're still waiting for confirmation on that, so that's not ideal. But at the same time, I'm going to put a more positive spin on it. It's not like it's Louise Quinn or Denise or Katie. It's not as big a worry, but still, when you lose any player a few minutes before a match, it does throw things into disarray a little bit.
Okay, thank you so much for that update, and we'll obviously find out what the actual confirmation of that is very soon. There's viewing parties happening across the country once again today, and there were huge viewing figures for the Australia game last week. People are really getting behind this World Cup, aren't they, guys?
Oh, it's amazing. And these viewing parties like that they're having here in Sword Celtic are happening all around the countries, in rural areas, in towns, wherever you'll find a viewing party. Some of them are sold out and people are absolutely loving them. Just behind Tracy there, we'll put a picture of this up. There's bouncy castles, there's kids taking
in
penalties.
Green, can we say?
In green, there's ice cream vans, there's girls and boys face painted. They've taken some of Tracy's feather boas. They're all around and people are absolutely loving it. Maybe it's just an excuse for a lunchtime party, but people are loving it.
I'm absolutely loving it too, and it's just great to see. It's great to see so many girls involved in a football club, to be outside here at Sword Celtic and to speak to an old classmate of mine from years and years ago. I haven't seen or chatted to since our leaving cert, and she is instrumental in putting together this whole group of girls. And as she said, like since they qualified, there's a phone call nearly every week of more little girls want to play as well. So that is great. So Marie and Alan will also be joined by Rebecca Cray for the game at 1pm as well. Thank you so much, guys. Got more tunes before you take over the commentary here on 2FM. This is Kylie Minogue getting us ready for the match down under with Padam.
Welcome back to a very special big match broadcast live from Sword Celtic FC here on 2FM. Rebecca Cray and Alan Cawley are with me in the roadcaster. Rebecca, we have some team news, but it is not good. Confirmation that Heather Payne is out. Anya O'Gorman is in instead of her, well equipped to take her spot, but at the last minute to have to make a change like that, it's not easy on anybody.
Most definitely not. No, it's very unfortunate to see Heather go off there in tears. in the warm-up. Obviously we've got the same back three of Niamh Fahey, Louise Quinn and Megan Conley starting there. Obviously a bit more of experience with Anya coming in instead of Heather Payne. Katie McCabe starting on the left again with Little John O'Sullivan, Farrelly and Lucy Quinn then coming in instead of Marissa Sheva, just to complete that box midfield with Ciara Cruz up top.
So we know that Anya Gorman has been playing with Shamrock Rovers. She's obviously been in that Ireland squad for a number of years now, has loads of experience, but when it comes to making that step up to playing at that level, coming from the Women's National League, is it going to be tough or will she be okay?
I'd like to say she'd be okay. You know, she's a seasoned international at this stage. She came into the senior setup, I think she aged 16, one of our youngest at the time. So look, Anya,
over 100 caps.
Exactly. So look, she's well able. Look, she'd be you know, fairly rare to go in getting into this team. I know she's probably unfortunate, you know, knowing Anya, she wants to start every team. So look, she'll be gunning for this and yeah, really look forward to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and look, Alan, the good thing about her is that she is one of the fittest players on that team. She's a personal trainer by trade. You can see her anytime she's playing. She covers so much ground. She's got so much energy. As Rebecca said there, she's so experienced and she's surrounded by experienced players there in that defence.
Yeah, it's such a good option to have in that sense, Marie, and I think that why Anya was obviously included in the squad initially, because she's adaptable for a couple of positions as well. So obviously she's coming in at right wing back. She would have played a lot. I remember the night in Hampden she played on the left hand side, I think it was. So there's a couple of different changes there in the fact that she can cover, but it's not ideal for Heather. But I do think, to be fair, Anya, it's a credit to her professionalism, as you say, that she's still in the squad, that she's still here over 100 caps, and she's dependable. So that's most important, Marie. Obviously the attacking option and what we all would have wanted, the fans option maybe would have to include Abby again, another opportunity to get her into the team. But I think because of the opposition that we're playing, it's the safe call and probably the correct call to put Anya in like for like. She's very good defensively. She'll get up and down that line, cover in around beside Niamh Fahey as well. So it's not ideal, disappointing for Heather, but an opportunity for Anya.
Yeah, and I don't think anything will faze Anya Gorman either as well. She is so composed all of the time. Louise Quinn, though, we were worried about her heading into this game. She was wearing the boot. We saw her not fully partake in a lot of training sessions, but she tweeted last night and she put up on Instagram that she was ready to go, and it's brilliant to see her starting there because she's so experienced and we really need a player like her, not just for defensive capabilities, for when she gets up top too, Rebecca.
Exactly. Like I think she put up one and the caption was round two, so, you know, that the shiner was the one to complete that. But look, Louise has made a different stuff, you know. She's quite tough, and I know, you know, reading news reports during the week, I was looking going, no, she'll be fine, you know. It's just a case of, I'm sure, of just maintaining that injury over the last few days. And look, I know she'll be well up for this one, and hopefully throws her head on the end of a corner or a free kick as well.
Bring that on, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. Obviously, Marie, of course we want us to create more chances from open play, but we're such a threat at set pieces. I think there was 11 or 12 corners we had in that opening game and we just couldn't manage to get her on the end of one. There was the cross near the end, obviously, from open play with Katie when she had pushed up the pitch at that stage and kind of glanced off her head. But she's such a threat in both boxes, but obviously defensively she was sound against Australia, most importantly. So it would have been a massive blow had Louise been missing out. So thankfully she's in the team and she gives a similar performance to what she gave against Australia.
Marissa Sheva was the player to lose out. Lucy Quinn coming in. Very hard for Marissa Sheva because of that mistake, and if you make a mistake you want to make an amends, and then if you don't get that opportunity. What does Lucy Quinn bring though?
Yeah, I suppose she's a bit more, I suppose, experience at this level. You know, in the last year or two, she came into Vera's squad and she is quite attacking. You know, she's very dogged in her approach to the game. You know, she's quite attacking, but she does do that work off the ball as well. I know Shiva obviously does do a lot of hard work, but I just think technically Lucy has that little bit of edge over her.
Alan?
Yeah, I think it's a like for like really in terms of the position that they'll play. So tactically that won't change. She's coming in, it's a straight swap. Shiva will be disappointed, but I don't really think she did enough. It's not fair to, we're not suggesting for one moment to shoot to the fact that she gave away the penalty. I just think her overall play, probably she didn't do enough. And to be fair to Lucy, what you want from your substitutes, Marie, Lucy Quinn came on and made a real impact. All the talk was obviously about Abby's impact, but Lucy Quinn did really, really well when she came on also. She has experience of obviously playing throughout a couple of the games. She was a starter at the early part of the campaign, lost her place, but she fought hard to get back in, and obviously she gets her opportunity today, so hopefully she has as much of an impact starting the match as what she had when she came on the other day.
Yeah, and what an opportunity it is, because today is a huge game. Ireland need to get a result, and hopefully they will very, very, very shortly. We're going to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll have more build-up and analysis to come, and then we'll be heading for live commentary to Australia.
The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023.
Live on RTE2 FM.
Well, the teams are in the tunnel. Katie McCabe is in the zone as she leads Ireland on to take on Canada in the second game of the Women's World Cup. Before we head over to Adrian and to Claire Shine, give us a prediction, Rebecca Cray.
I'm going to go 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go a draw as well, Marie. Hopefully we get a goal. It'll be 1-1, but I think it's most important that we don't lose the match and we're still in with a fight come Monday, because as I said earlier on, I think Vera would have taken that at the start. So I'm very, very hopeful of the same performance as what we saw against Australia, and we take a point from the game.
So do you think, Rebecca, she is going to just stick to what she always does?
I think so. I don't think Vera kind of veers off, too much of her game plan. I think it's very much, keep us tight. And then look out for a goal in the break. Look, I'd take a 1-1, I'd take a 1-0, obviously, which is much better. But look, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, huge excitement there. You can just sense it coming through. The teams are getting ready. Anya Gorman, they're running out, and what an opportunity it is for her after so many years soldiering for Ireland. To see her getting to play in that World Cup is amazing. Let's hand over now, though, to our big match commentary team of Claire Shine and Adrian Eames.
And you're very welcome to Perth, Marie. The national anthem's just underway. First, the anthem of Canada. Reduced capacity inside the rectangular stadium here in Western Australia in Perth for match 2 of Ireland's World Cup campaign. A crowd of around about 16,000. The attendance reduced by FIFA, but the vast majority inside this stadium backing Ireland. So stand by for this rendition of Arán Navían. Smiles on the faces of the Irish players as the cameras pan down from right to left. We're all set. It's green everywhere you look here, it has to be said. Claire Shine is alongside me. There's a pretty big Irish crowd here this evening.
Absolutely insane. Again, I can just see green all over the stadium. It's absolutely incredible, Apparently the pubs around the stadium are absolutely full as well, and it's just unbelievable to see, everyone singing the national anthem. It brings goosebumps towards every part of my body, to be honest. So I'm just really looking forward to this, and I hope everybody else is too.
Well, it's a rather wintry evening in Western Australia in Perth. A lot of rain throughout the afternoon. It's a little like Tala, both in terms of the setup here at the rectangular stadium and also in terms of the weather. It's quite blustery, and there's been a fair bit of rain. The pitch was covered yesterday. You got the big team news, and how disappointing, crushing news with Heather Payne being ruled out. She had that hamstring of hers very tightly packed yesterday, and obviously in the warm-up she aggravated, so Anya Gorman is in. Big news from the Irish camp. Obviously Louise Quinn deemed fit enough to start, but a real personal blow for Heather Payne being ruled out with Anya in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's heartbreaking. You train for these moments, and to just fall short at the final hurdle is absolutely crushing for Heather. But look, Anya has been an unbelievable servant to the women's game in Ireland, what she has done, over the last number of years, and it's just incredible, even, becoming a mother and missing out on her son's first birthday this week as well. Is just it's incredible for her to get that start today, and I hope she grabs it with both hands because she thoroughly deserves it.
And the other change, of course, Lucy Quinn gets the nod to start, and that means no starting role for Marissa Shiva this evening. So Abby Larkin will be held in reserve by Vera Pauw. Vera Pauw looking very, very sombre, and obviously that news concerning Heather Payne, well, that was a big blow to her game plan, but in any event we have to get on with things. That hamstring obviously not good enough to hold. Katie McCabe just runs across with a pennant, and of course that big news as well out of Canada. No starting role this evening for Christine Sinclair. Well, something of a bolt from the blue. Obviously missed that penalty, or rather had the penalty saved against Nigeria, and a rather below par performance from her. So as a result, she's not in the starting 11, but they are boosted by the return of Jessica Fleming. It's the first time in 6 consecutive World Cups involving Canada that Sinclair will not have started a match. So that's fascinating news from their camp.
Yeah, it is. She's 324 caps, 190 goals. So it's a massive call for them to have her on the bench today. But in saying that, Jessie Fleming is an incredible player. She's a box-to-box midfielder, and she has that touch of class that they must have been missing over the last number of games. And yeah, she can play anywhere in the midfield too. So yeah, she'll be definitely one to watch today.
And Evelyn Vienne starts as well. She made quite an impact against Nigeria in Melbourne in that scoreless draw. Deanne Rose drops to the bench. So it will be Canada to get us underway in the first half, playing from left to right. The wind that I mentioned from earlier in the day, that has eased off a little, so conditions not too bad, but the pitch will certainly play quite slickly, won't it?
Yeah, well, it's going to be nothing that they haven't played in before. The weather in Ireland is pretty much the same as what it is today here in Perth, and yeah, this is going to be a massive test.
And away we go, and straight away Kadisha Buchanan knocks the ball long. Canada in white jerseys, red shorts and white socks. Ireland, of course, in their traditional green jerseys, white shorts and green socks. A special game on as Haitama tries to make inroads down the left-hand side, and she gets away an early shot, but it's blocked away. Stout defending from Ireland in the early stages. Kira Carusa gets the ball under control on halfway and works it back to Anya O'Gorman, making her 119th start for the Republic of Ireland this evening. Her 119th cap. What an achievement that is. And she only got the news quite late on, but ever the pro, I'm sure she was primed and ready if called upon. They would obviously have some concerns over Heather Payne's hamstring injury, and clearly it didn't hold up in the warm-up, so she's been ruled out. That's the late news from the Irish team. Obviously Louise Quinn, as we mentioned, past fit to play, but perhaps not at 100% in terms of her fitness, but she will play through the pain barrier. Buchanan rolls the ball out to the right-hand side for Canada and gets the return pass, and now Vanessa Gilles gets on it, and you can hear the ole ole cry right around the ground. So this effectively is like a home game, Claire.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to bite my tongue here and not to join in with them. It's that loud, but it's just, it's incredible to see the support that they're getting over here. It's like a home away from home, to be honest. Yeah,
Denise O'Sullivan has possession just inside the Irish half, but she's lost out, and once again it's back with Vanessa Gilles all the way back to the Canadian number 1 Caelan Sheridan from San Diego Wave, and she's all in yellow this evening. Sends it long, the flick on from Haitama, and Vienne making the run through the middle. Denise O'Sullivan battling to try and win it back with Quinn halfway inside the Irish half. The ball is worked out to this near side. Sinead Farley just prods it on, and now Katie McCabe getting forward from that left wing back position of hers, but she's dispossessed by Riviere, and that'll be a throw in for Ireland just about 15 metres inside the Canadian half. And it's a fine setup, it has to be said, here at the Rectangular Stadium, which is home to Perth Glory in football, and also in rugby union to Western Force. Generally speaking, it can hold about 20,500, but a reduced capacity, and I think most of the seats have been filled up. Mind you, there are a few on the far side. The main seating stand is on the far side as Louise Quinn manages to head the ball clear for Ireland. Right old tussle for possession going on inside the Irish half. Eventually Katie McCabe sends it down the line, and Buchanan, wearing orange boots, is there. She's under pressure from Carusa, who almost managed to pinch the ball for the Republic of Ireland, and if she had managed to do so, she would have been in on goal. Louise Quinn just knocks the ball out to Ireland's right hand side, and it's sent forward by Anya O'Gorman. Now an opportunity for Ireland to threaten here with Quinn delivering the cross to Carusa, and Carusa's there on the ground, and the ball squirts behind, and it will be a corner kick. Well, Caelan Sheridan didn't exactly cover herself in glory, but that was a terrific move down Ireland's right-hand side. And Lou Quinn just encourages the Irish supporters to really get the noise levels up a notch or two. Promising start from Ireland.
Absolutely. Well, what a move that was, Carusa in there anticipating that the goalkeeper was going to make a mistake, and she just couldn't get up and quick enough to get that not into the goal. But we have a great opportunity here with a corner, and hopefully Louise Quinn or one of them can get their head on it, because we know how good of a delivery Katie McCabe can get into the box.
Yeah, Carusa went sliding in, and Caelan Sheridan content to block it and then just paw it behind for the first corner of the match, which goes to Ireland on their right hand side to be swung in by Katie McCabe. It's a real tester. Oh, it's gone in. It's gone in. Katie McCabe in the 4th minute. A delicious delivery. It's Canada 0, Ireland 1. What about that scoreline?
Oh my God, what have I just seen? Katie McCabe, her name is just written in the stars right now. What a delivery. We just said beforehand she can put in some serious ball into the box, and it just drifted straight into the top corner. Oh my God, this is incredible start for Ireland.
Ireland's first ever World Cup goal scored by Ireland's captain Katie McCabe, goal 21 of her international career, and that one is sweet, so sweet. What a start for Ireland in Perth as the rain pours down. Ireland in front, Ireland in the driving seat early on, a long way to go, but they've given themselves something to hang on to here against the Olympic champions. Ireland 1 up.
This is exactly what we had hoped for before the game. Put pressure on early and hopefully get a goal, and that's exactly what we've done. We look really sharp, we look really like we want it, and we need to have that attitude today.
Well, it looked like the gods were conspiring against Ireland with that injury, the ankle injury to Louise Quinn, but she was past fit to play. But clearly the news concerning Heather Payne, that was a real body blow for Vera Pauw. She looked very downbeat, but you would feel that Ireland are more than capable of pressing forward. And of course, at regular intervals, we will take a little trip back to Swords to see what the panel with Marie think. But at the moment, what a start for Ireland, a lively start, and that curling attempt. And I'm sure the Canadian management won't be too pleased with Caelan Sheridan, but it was all about the delivery. It was whipped in at such pace, such height, and it just dipped under the crossbar. Sheridan was trying to stretch to claw it away, but she was unable to do so, and Ireland had the tonic of a breakthrough goal in Perth in Western Australia, and that will really give them enormous confidence here. Carusa holds it up on halfway and works it back to Megan Connolly, who knocks the ball out to this near side, but out of play. Now, time to catch your breath, eh?
You can see what Ireland are trying to do here. The minute they get the ball, Katie McCabe, Anya Gorman are bombing forward, and that's what we want to see. We play so much better when we're on the front foot, and that's what they've been doing for the first number of minutes, and hopefully they can continue to do that for the rest of the game too.
Yeah, absolutely. As Heitema gets involved, along with Ashley Lawrence on that left hand side, two very quick and pacey players. Ashley Lawrence is off to join Chelsea very shortly. Here's Buchanan, one of the key players for Canada, the central defender, setting it forward. Heitema was the target. The big switch was on. They were trying to just test out Anya O'Gorman. Clearly that's an approach that Bev Priestman, the manager of Canada, is keen to employ, because it was certainly something that Australia were very willing to do as well, trying to test out the Irish right back. On that occasion in Sydney, it was of course Heather Payne. This time it's Anya O'Gorman, who was drafted in late in the piece after the unfortunate Heather Payne aggravated a hamstring injury. Ireland leading by 1-0. We're in the 8th minute here in Perth. What a start for Vera Pauw's Ireland, and of course they have to get some sort of a result tonight. If they lose, they're heading home, but at the moment they're in dreamland, leading by 1-0. Katie McCabe running away and celebrating. Huge Irish crowd here, and they're enjoying it so far. Denise O'Sullivan just on the fringe of the centre circle, worked it out to Katie McCabe, and she goes barrelling forward once again, and the Canadian defence just backtracking at the moment. Still McCabe inside the area, and she goes down inside the box. Now they will check it, and the referee has pointed to the spot. It's a penalty for Ireland. Well, you can be sure that they will check it. Well, no. Well, initially we thought she was pointed to the spot, but I'm sure it'll be checked. Well, there may well have been contact. In any event, Katie McCabe went to ground. Sorry about the old false alarm there, but it looked as if the referee was pointing towards the spot, but no penalty. There may have been the merest of contacts, but not to be. So it stays at 1-0. But you really do feel there are more goals in this match for Ireland. I don't want to tempt fate too early on here, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it wasn't a penalty, it came straight off Buchanan, the Canadian centre half, and went out for a corner. So either way, I think she got that call wrong.
Well, Ireland prepared to put bodies on the line, and they've got themselves a free kick. Haitema with a raised boot. So in the 9th minute, Ireland leading by 1-0. And Courtney Brosnan will take this restart for the Republic of Ireland. One game has already been played here at this particular venue. Denmark beating China by 1-0. A few more games scheduled to be played at the Rectangular Stadium in Perth. Here's Denise O'Sullivan working it back to Anya O'Gorman on Ireland's right hand side. Lucy Quinn, who started very, very promisingly, pings the ball out to this left hand side, and that's a great ball to pick out Katie McCabe. And now the attempted delivery is charged down by Rivere, and it'll be tidied up by Buchanan. Bit of a heavy touch, but she manages to prevent the corner kick, but it will be a throw-in for the Republic of Ireland. Vibrant start from Ireland, who are taking the game to Canada at the moment. Quickly taken throw-in, and it's back with Sinead Farley, and Farley twists and turns and manages to get away from Adriana Leon. Ball into the area. Carusa in the wide left position, forced away from goal just outside the area at the moment, tries to deliver the cross. It'll run here for Denise O'Sullivan. Promising build-up from Ireland once again. Anya O'Gorman. In fact, now it's set with Nia Fahy. Nia Fahy on by Farley, off Carusa, and the driven shot from Sinead Farley, and it's parried behind for a corner kick. Sinead Farley, in the slippery conditions, had a go at goal, and Caelan Sheridan took no chances with it and just managed to claw it behind for a corner kick. A really positive start from Ireland, leading 1-0 and close to a second there.
Canada are absolutely all over the place. The ball came into Carusa there, and they all just stopped and looked at her, and she was able to play the ball back to Farley for her to have a shot. It was an unbelievable piece of play there, and we've got another corner, very dangerous for us to be in the box, and hopefully we can get something from our second corner again.
Yeah, and it's Katie McCabe once again from the same side, Ireland's right, to swing it in. Caelan Sheridan watching on. Huge Irish crowd in attendance, and McCabe gives the signal, and she clips it towards the near post, but it's well defended at that near post by Evelyn Vian, and Ireland will get themselves a throw, and not quite the same whip and trajectory on that corner kick this time from Katie McCabe, but it will be a throw in for the Republic of Ireland. And you fancy that Lucy Quinn may try and send it in here. Anya Gorman going short to offer support, and it's Sinead Farley working it back to Lucy Quinn. That one change made in terms of the selected starting 11, with Marissa Shiva dropping to the bench as the cross is delivered in, but Gilles gets it away, and that Grosso for Canada, but it's careless from the Olympic champions that give the possession back to Ireland, and Ireland in turn have gifted possession to the team in white. The ball is played forward. Vian goes off in chase, and Courtney Brosnan, a long way from her goal outside her penalty area, just slices the ball out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Canada inside Irish territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucy Quinn has been excellent, in the first 10 minutes of the game. She's been able to hold up the ball and look for passes and bring players into play, and that's exactly what we wanted from her. Vera made a call to start her today, and she's grabbing it with both hands, and she's been in the pick of everything going forward so far, and she looks really sharp.
Absolutely, and obviously Abby Larkin as a result remains on the bench. Both Lucy Quinn and Abby Larkin came on at the same point of the second half in Sydney last Thursday in that so narrow 1-0 defeat for Ireland, but they certainly had an impact on the match, with Ireland really taking the game to Australia thereafter, but came up short. So Ireland in need of a positive result tonight. A draw here wouldn't be the end of the world. It'd certainly keep them alive in terms of prospects of emerging from this group, this fiercely contested group, which also includes Australia and Nigeria. Ireland's final group game will be back at their base in Brisbane on Monday night, so a draw will be enough to keep things lively, but a win would be such a fill-up for the Republic of Ireland. Carusa now taking on Buchanan down the left-hand side. She holds it up, Carusa, and works it back to Farley, gets it on to her right and delivers the cross into a promising position, but well dealt with by Vanessa Gilles. Ball will run to Anya O'Gorman, but 15 metres inside the Canadian half, and now Nia Fahy under pressure, trying to link up again with Anya O'Gorman, but the last touch came off Jordan Haitema and goes out of play. Haitema, who primarily played through the middle for Canada in that scoreless draw in Melbourne, operating off the left hand side with Evelyn Vian through the middle, ably supported by the likes of Adriana Leon and Jessie Fleming if she can get forward. She's operating that more central role which was occupied in the 0-0 draw with Nigeria by the legend that is Christine Sinclair. Denise O'Sullivan works it back to Áine O'Gorman on Ireland's right hand side, just shy of halfway, and the ball goes out of play for another Irish throw in. If you're just joining us, you're listening to a Game On special on 2FM. Live coverage from Perth in Western Australia, Ireland's second match in the World Cup finals here in Australia and New Zealand, and Ireland lead by 1-0. Katie McCabe with a wicked corner which deceived the Canadian number one and ended up in the back of the net. Sheridan unable to keep it out. It really was a smashing ball in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something else. You know, these are the types of things you see in training, not in a World Cup group game. You know, it was just, I couldn't believe my eyes, to be honest, and I still can't believe there's only 14 minutes gone. It's going to be a long 80 minutes plus. But yeah, hopefully we can keep pushing on now.
Well, we were chatting to Stephanie Roach before kick-off, and she said, I have a gut feeling that Ireland will score early. And how right she is. Ireland did score early, but they've given themselves something to really fight for here against Canada. High quality opposition. Canada ranked 7th in the world compared to Ireland's 22nd position in the FIFA rankings, depending of course on how much you read into those particular statistics. Caelan Sheridan a long way from her goal. The Canadian goalkeeper out to Buchanan on this right hand side, and now Gilles once again, and they operated through the middle for Quinn, and now it's with Grosso now driving forward. A little bit of space for Grosso to perhaps exploit for Canada. Sends it back to Quinn about 40 metres out from goal. She might fancy having her crack. She tried to dink it through, inviting the run of Heitema, and it was a bit of a disappointing ball in the end from a Canadian perspective, gathered by the Irish goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan and bowled out to Katie McCabe, who drives forward from that left wing back position. I know a lot of people talk about Katie McCabe playing further forward in a higher position, but she certainly gets forward when she can, and that was very evident against Australia in Sydney. But unusually and untypical of Katie McCabe, she's knocked the ball straight out of play, so it'll be a throw-in for Canada to be taken by Jade Rivera, and Rivera all the way back to Buchanan. Ciara Caruso will have to cover so much ground. Speaking of covering ground, Ruesha Littlejohn absolutely exceptional against Australia. Close on 11 kilometres she covered during the course of the match. That was some going, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, and that's just the hard work Ruesha puts in. You know, she does all the dirty work and the things that people don't see, and that's why she's in the team. She's a fighter, and she runs after absolutely everything. And you know, she's the backbone in this team, as well as Denise O'Sullivan and Katie McCabe. You know, she's been there since the very start, and she's just been incredible. And she's throughout her season this year, she's been very unfortunate with injuries, and it's just unbelievable to see her out on the pitch at the moment. Well, Courtney Brosnan with a long clearance downfield, one in the air by Vanessa Gilles. Ireland, well, temporarily had possession through the aforementioned Ruesha Littlejohn. Ireland getting on it once again with Littlejohn. She's surrounded by Jessica Fleming and another Canadian player. She goes to ground along with Fleming. Free kick goes to Ireland, and it's taken quickly up towards Ciara Caruso, but Buchanan has it for Canada. Knocks the ball forward, but the offside flag is raised on the far side. We'll take a trip to Swords very, very shortly at the next suitable break in play, as the ball is played forward to Quinn, the central midfield operator for Canada. Out to Rivera on Canada's right hand side, and now back inside her own half with Kadisha Buchanan. Buchanan drives forward, but it's a poor ball straight to Sinead Farley, and it goes out of play on this near side. Marie, I wonder what they're all thinking in Swords.
They're very excited in Swords, that's for sure, Adrian. Great excitement in the Roadcaster. I'd even go as far as saying Alan Colley, the Roadcaster, was rocking.
Absolutely, yeah. Some cheer went up when the goal went in as well, Marie, and it's been such a dream start. Obviously, to get the goal is absolutely massive. We wanted a big moment in this World Cup, and we've just had it. But the confidence it's given them then, and the opening 17 minutes, they look so comfortable. As I say, the confidence that they've got from that goal as well, and hopefully there's more to come, Marie.
Rebecca, you grew up with Katie. Was she practicing that trick in her back garden? Did she mean to do it?
I'd say she'll claim she did, but listen, we'll take it. What a finish. It was absolutely amazing. What a start we've had, and hopefully continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's return now to Perth, because the action is exciting. Adrian.
We'll be back in Swords very shortly. 18 minutes gone. Ireland leading by 1-0 as they try to create another opportunity. The ball breaks in around midfield, prodded forward by Quinn in the direction of Fleming. What a quality player Jessie Fleming is, of Chelsea. 3 league titles in succession. Of course, Chelsea double winners in England. Gilles now under pressure defensively, and great work by Kira Carusa. In the end, the ball is knocked out of play. It'll be another corner kick for Ireland, and certainly Canada are finding the going tough. Kira Carusa just applauds the crowd and encourages them to lift the team once again. Another corner kick for Ireland, and once again it will be from Ireland's right hand side. And you know what that means. Katie McCabe, the Irish skipper, is on her way to take this set piece, or is she? Well, maybe not. Megan Connolly, in fact, is going across this time, so just a variation, and we shall see if Megan Connolly can produce the goods for Ireland here. 19 minutes played, Canada 0, Ireland 1 in this Group B World Cup match. Ireland's second of the competition. McCabe waits inside the area, and they go short to Ruisha Littlejohn. Back to Megan Connolly, has time to take a touch, sends it back out. Ireland now with a variation. It's obviously a training ground routine, but the ball is knocked into the area, and they haven't managed to get it away, and the follow-up shot just drifts wide from Katie McCabe, who was fairly skipping off the slippery surface in Perth, but wide, and well wide in the end.
Yeah, that was definitely a training session routine there. I don't think anybody was waiting for something like that. If it had fell or bounced a little bit different for Katie, she could have absolutely smashed that top corner. But it looks like the Canadian goalkeeper is down with a groin injury at the moment. So yeah, there's a little bit of break in play.
Yeah, so Caelan Sheridan is down, and maybe we can take another visit to Swords and see what the chaps there think. Okay, maybe not. Maybe in a moment or two. So the players from both teams, Canada and Ireland, across to this near side to get some refreshments on board. Vera Pauw with some words of wisdom to impart. Beth Priestman, I would imagine, is very, very concerned. Big game this, of course. Huge pressure on Canada. Beth Priestman, who served as assistant to Phil Neville when he was in charge of England. 37-year-old from near Newcastle. And Caelan Sheridan, well, this is going to be a real issue at the moment. It looks like her right ankle is giving her trouble, so Canada may be forced to a change. In case you missed the late team news for Ireland, Heather Payne ruled out, so Anya Gorman slotting in at right wing back. And the other change, Marissa Shiva dropping out of the starting 11. Lucy Quinn, who's looked very, very lively down Ireland's right hand side, preferred from the outset. So Caelan Sheridan back on her feet, so let's take a little trip to Swords.
Yes, Adrian, we're really enjoying watching this first half display. And Rebecca, we were just remarking how this Ireland team are now in the situation that they want to be. They've got that early goal, and they can now either off on-field performance. It doesn't seem to be at the standard you'd expect from Canada.
No, and they weren't great against Nigeria either in their opening game, Marie. And obviously the start that Ireland have had here, they've really taken the game to Canada, and they just can't live with us at the moment. Carusa's causing all sorts of problems, occupying the two centre halves, winning corners, bringing the midfield into the game as well. It's been a dream start. I know what Rebecca's saying about obviously the way Vera plays, and if we get the first goal you tend to sit back and defend that, but I think there's more opportunities here from us and more goals. And I think if we carry on the front foot, I'm not getting too excited, Marie, but if you carry on the front foot like we're playing, I definitely think there's chances and opportunities there for us. Okay, let's go back and see if we're going to get more of those opportunities and more of those goals. Adrian.
Well, perhaps an opportunity here for Canada, but not to be. Adriana Leon with the attempted cross, but it veers well wide in the end, not troubling Courtney Brosnan in the Irish goal. A really disappointing ball from the right winger for Canada. So past the midpoint in the first half in rainy Perth this evening. That rain is continuing. It's very, very light at the moment, and Ireland leading by 1-0. That early goal scored direct from a corner kick by Katie McCabe. Caelan Sheridan, by the way, back on her feet. She's okay to continue. They obviously had to check on that injury she sustained. Anya Gorman chests the ball down and just loses her bearings in the greasy conditions. Niamh Fahey battling for it. Haitema is onto it. Haitema with the shot, and it's a well struck effort which is saved by Courtney Brosnan. Jordan Haitema letting fly from long range, but Brosnan made it stick.
Yeah, she did. It was unfortunate for Anya Gorman there. I think she just completely misjudged the ball as it fell, and lost her footing and slipped, and gave them a great opportunity to have a shot on goal. And thank God Courtney Brosnan is between the sticks.
Absolutely, and given the conditions, the ball could easily just squirt out of the hands, but Courtney Brosnan was solid, got her hands right behind it and made the save. And Canada have possession once again. Sent back by Grosso to Vanessa Gilles. Grosso on it once again. And back with Vanessa Gilles has Buchanan square. Quinn has just dropped out to Canada's right hand side, and she receives it now. And Quinn looks up and just feeds the ball forward. Canada knocking the ball around pretty confidently, trying to play their way into the match, rocked by the concession of that early goal scored in the 4th minute. That vicious free kick, or corner kick rather, from Katie McCabe, which beat the stretching Caelan Sheridan and ended up in the back of the net. Huge Irish contingent here, as you'd expect. So many Irish expats living here, and so many Irish have made the trip as supporters as well. So huge Irish support. And Perth is one of those areas where they are really looking for Irish people to come and work. So many guards and nurses have been encouraged to take up job opportunities here. As Vanessa Gill thought about the back pass to Caelan Sheridan, saw that particular route was closed off, and in the end just knocked out of play. The ball, that is. So it'll be a throw in for Ireland. Good persistence there on the part of Lucy Quinn down Ireland's right hand side, as Anya Gorman takes the throw in on the far side of the pitch. And it's Canada who come away with it. Ashley Lawrence, but they've coughed it up here, and now it's Sinead Farley who has it, works it back, and there's a Canadian player down requiring treatment. It is Ashley Lawrence who's stayed down on the far side of the pitch. The ball bounces just outside the Canadian area, and Quinn feeds it forward. And now the referee, who we haven't mentioned so far, is Laura Fortunato from Argentina, will go across and just check on Ashley Lawrence, who appears to be in some degree of pain at the moment, with 25 minutes having been played here in Perth. Canada 0, Ireland 1.
You can see what Canada are doing. They're getting all their players forward. They're pushing forward, and it's leaving spaces in behind on the right and the left for Lucy Quinn and even for Kyra to make that arc and run in, and that seems to be where we're getting the most joy. You can also see it's really hard for Jessie Fleming in the middle of the park to find any of those spaces, and that's what she's good at, and that's just showing what Ireland are doing. They're sticking to their game plan and making it really hard for them and frustrating them. Earlier you saw Jessie Fleming dropping the whole way in nearly on top of her defence to pick up the ball. That's not where she's comfortable. She's comfortable in those pockets of space in front of the defence, and she's finding it really hard to find those spaces at the moment.
Yeah, well, still concern on the Canadian bench at the moment over the welfare of Ashley Lawrence, who, as we mentioned, is off to Chelsea after the World Cup finals, having finished the season at Paris Saint-Germain, where she's won a league title and a couple of cups as well. So treatment continues here for Ashley Lawrence, and the rain thankfully has eased off. Great to see so many Irish spectators inside the rectangular stadium here. They're really enjoying it so far. Ireland leading by 1-0, and that support, that Irish support is such a lift for the team, isn't it?
No, it is. Like the singing out of them. Any Irish team, that's involved in anything, there's always a massive crowd that supports them, and it's always for the men's, but it's incredible to see them supporting the women's team now. They're equal. They're getting all the support as well, and it's just unbelievable. Even the build up to it yesterday, and being out in the Irish pub and being able to see it in the flesh is just incredible, and people have come from all over the world to support them, and it's just absolutely insane. It's just so impressive to hear the singing and the ole going around the stadium.
Well, play is still held up. We might go back to swords very shortly, but just before we do, just a word on the starting 11. Obviously the blow in terms of Heather Payne, but the decision to go with Lucy Quinn, what did you think of that? Yeah,
I think it's like for Lucy and Marissa Shiva. It's just substituting one in for the other. Lucy can bring defensive duties as well as attacking duties, and it's a great chance for Lucy to prove herself. She's been left out of the team for a number of games now, so it's a great opportunity for her to show Vera what she can do again, and she's doing extremely well so far, and hopefully she can keep creating chances.
So Ashley Lawrence has just left the field of play on the far side temporarily. I suspect she'll be back on, so play about to resume. We will dip into swords again very, very shortly, but play about to resume. But obviously the medical team for Canada, they'll need to make a quick call on this, because at the moment Canada down to 10 players. So the referee will throw the ball to Jessie Fleming off Chelsea. And she works it back to Vanessa Gilles, and Gilles square to Kadisha Buchanan. What a career she's had. Of course, another of the Chelsea contingent at the World Cup finals, but 13 trophies in her time with Lyon in France, including 5 Champions Leagues. So she brings so much pedigree and quality in terms of what she's achieved in the game. And Lawrence back on the field of play, sends it down the line. The layoff from Vienne out to that left-hand side, and Haitema trying to force an opening. And in the end, Nia Fahy is forced to concede a corner kick, and now it's the turn of the Canadians to perhaps pressurise Ireland from a set piece. Nia Fahy standing firm. She was so vigilant in Sydney against Australia. She made 8 clearances in that game and really put her body on the line when it mattered. So it's a Jessie Fleming corner which is imminent here for Canada, who trail Ireland by 1-0 in Perth in Group B, this World Cup game. So Fleming runs up and it's driven in towards the near post, and it's well defended by Ireland. Katie McCabe got her head on it at the near post, and the ball is cleared away. Anya Gorman just stabbing it forward. Lawrence feeds it out to the left hand side, and now Canada trying to test Ireland once again. Buchanan with the flick on, and the ball is hoisted over the top. Big chance for Canada, and it was Vanessa Gilles up from the back. Well, perhaps arguably it fell to the wrong person, and she prodded it over the bar from about 6 metres out.
Well, that was some let off for Ireland. We didn't track our runners when the ball went back out and came in again. Oh my goodness. How did she manage to miss that? But that was some let off for Ireland.
Yeah, the ball sent back in and flicked on by the head of Kadisha Buchanan. And in the end, her defensive colleague, Vanessa Gilles, well, she tried to guide the ball goalwards, but just got underneath it and lifted the ball over the crossbar. So a big let off for Ireland there. Half an hour played. Canada 0, Republic of Ireland 1. Katie McCabe with the solitary goal in the match so far. One will do the trick for Ireland tonight. 3 points would be huge. Ireland's first ever World Cup goal scored by the Irish captain and Supremo. Her 21st international goal. Ireland throw-in on the far side to be taken by Anya Gorman. Lou Quinn drops short and receives and spins away, and does well to link up with Sinead Farley down Ireland's right hand side. Quinn with the knockdown, but well, Ireland thought they had it back through Denise O'Sullivan. Ruesha Littlejohn battling to try and win it back, but it's Jessie Fleming who has it for Canada. Back to Gilles, out to Lawrence on Canada's left hand side, just inside the Irish half, and she goes striding forward. Anya Gorman tries to put in a challenge. Quinn is there, Lou Quinn that is, and she knocks it down the line looking for the tireless Kira Carusa, who manages to draw the free. She felt the contact from Vanessa Gilles. Down she went. Free kick to Ireland right on halfway on the far side of the pitch. Great work.
Absolutely, and that's what she's good at. You know, she's so good at holding up the ball and bringing other players in, but she didn't have anybody around her, so she felt the contact and went down. And yeah, it's a great position for Ireland to be able to slow down the game and to take control back, because it's been a bit all over the place for the last 5 minutes, and we're losing that little bit of control.
Anya Gorman with the free kick up towards the edge of the area. A right old tussle for possession going on. Ruesha Littlejohn trying to win it back for Ireland. She goes sliding in, does tremendously well to work it back to Nia Fahy. And now Lou Quinn trying to work her way into a more central position, goes to ground. Some of the Irish supporters appealing for a free kick. In the end, it's back with Caelan Sheridan, the Canadian goalkeeper, who clears first time. Sent forward by Anya Gorman for Ireland. Gilles under pressure on the far side. Ireland battling to win every ball back. The moment a Canadian player gets on it, the pressure comes on straight away from the Irish players, and they are well and truly up for this, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are. They know what's at stake. You know, you lose, you go home. If you win, it puts us in a brilliant position going forward. And yeah, they're just playing on the front foot. You know, they want it so badly, and after the goal was scored, you know, they could have sat in, and they're not, and they're going for it. They know that there's more goals in them, and they know that they have those chances to create. And if we get up the pitch, you know, anything can happen in front of goal. And you see with Katie's corner there, it just went in, and you know, hopefully the luck is with us tonight. Yeah, great challenge there by Megan Connolly to dispossess Jade Rivere. She was trying to create something down Canada's right hand side, but Megan Connolly got there first, and a brilliant challenge to dispossess the Canadian, who was trying to engineer an opportunity. Meanwhile, Ireland trying to create something down the right hand side. Anya Gorman sending it on in the direction of Lucy Quinn, but tidied up for
Canada by Ashley Lawrence, and now Gilles plays it square to Kadisha Buchanan, and Buchanan back to Gilles, and Ireland just dropping off at the moment. Ciara Carusa has to work so hard trying to cover the lines in between Vanessa Gilles and Buchanan, as Jessie Fleming leaves the ball for Grosso, and Grosso out to the left hand side to Lawrence, who manages to just get the measure there of Lucy Quinn, but Ireland have it back once again. Denise O'Sullivan sending it forward, but Quinn, who's so technically good for Canada, does well to win it back and send it back, and now it's with Kadisha Buchanan. We've got 3 Quinns on the pitch this evening, 1 for Canada and 2 for Ireland. Louise Quinn and Lucy Quinn wearing green for the girls in green this evening as Ireland clear their lines. Buchanan cleverly leaves the ball for Vanessa Gilles, and Caelan Sheridan about 45 metres out from her own goal. Back to Vanessa Gilles, and Gilles plays it square now to Quinn. Quinn, who gets on it, faced by Ciara Carusa inside the centre circle, and she strides inside the Irish half of the pitch in a central position and veers out towards Canada's right hand side. Back to Buchanan, and Buchanan tries to switch. It's a clever ball into space as Canada now with plenty of bodies forward here at the moment. Grosso getting involved, bit of a late challenge there coming in from Niamh Fahey. It breaks to Sinead Farley halfway inside her own half. She goes to ground. The referee is unhappy. There was nothing untoward about the challenge as the Irish player picks herself up off the deck, and now it's with Gilles. She receives the pass from Grosso, and Gilles trying to slide it through for Haitema inside the area, left hand side, and the pull back in the direction of Fleming is superbly cut out in the nick of time for the Republic of Ireland. That was vigilant defending. Haitema offering a threat down the left hand side, and Canada get on with it quickly. It's back with Quinn, 40 metres out from goal, gets the return pass from Grosso, and Quinn shaping to shoot just outside the Irish penalty area, forced away from goal, and she will drill it cross field towards Fleming. Ireland managed to defend their lines. This is a decent spell of pressure from Canada as Denise O'Sullivan tried to carry a clear. Quinn for Canada is becoming more of an influence on the game. Meanwhile, Ciara Carusa has the measure here of Buchanan, goes to ground, and she gets a free kick, and that's brilliant work once again by Ciara Carusa, and the match referee is reaching for a yellow card, and Buchanan picks up a yellow. So she's on a tightrope now. Kadisha Buchanan, 2 Canadian players carrying yellow cards into the game ahead of kick-off. Ashley Lawrence and Evelyn Vian, and of course Denise O'Sullivan on a yellow for Ireland from the game against Australia, so she has to be very careful. If she picks up a yellow tonight, she'll miss the game with Nigeria in Brisbane on Monday. But great work there once again by Ciara Carusa.
Yeah, it was, but you know, Buchanan has tendency to do that even with her club Chelsea. You know, she isn't in at sometimes, or when the ball comes back to her and she's under pressure, you know, she tends to give away fouls quite quickly, quite easily like that. And
here's Denise O'Sullivan with the shot from the free kick on the edge of the area. Work back to Katie McCabe, and as Sinead Farley goes sliding in, Ireland really contesting every 50-50. Rusha Littlejohn goes in, but Farley has possession for Ireland. Katie McCabe nearby, and it's Farley into a centre position for Niamh Fahey. Now Denise O'Sullivan with the shot. O'Sullivan with the attempt, and it goes high over the crossbar from about 25 metres out from goal in a central position. Denise O'Sullivan lets fly. Katie McCabe already on the score sheet, and Denise O'Sullivan keen to join her there. Well, she absolutely let rip, but too much height on it.
Yeah, it was, and we see that she scores goals like that for North Carolina as well, Denise. So she had every right, you know, and she broke into that space. She just got her head up and took that opportunity, and unfortunately just flew over the bar.
Here's Buchanan just on halfway down the right hand side. Rivere goes to ground. A bit of a coming together with Sinead Farley, and the free kick has been awarded here to Canada. It's about 25 metres inside the Irish half. Farley just checking on Jade Rivere after that coming together, so it is going to be a free kick. Sinead Farley just a fraction late, so it's a free kick which will be swung in from Canada's right hand side. Jessica Fleming is there, and so too is Giulia Grosso, who plays her football with Juventus in Italy. They finished as runners-up in the Italian league. So Grosso perhaps with the left, or Fleming with the right here for Canada. Ireland push right up just outside the D here, so a pretty high line, and Canada will try to exploit it here. Grosso leaves it for Fleming to swing it in. Good ball in, it has to be said, but Katie McCabe got her head to it, and the follow-up attempt from Ashley Lawrence high over the crossbar, got right underneath it, and it sails over. Let's take a trip to Swords, shall we, and see what Marie and the panel there are making of it all. Marie?
Yeah, it's got very interesting in the last 10 minutes or so, Alan, just from an Ireland perspective. They've had to sit so deep, Canada really getting on top possession-wise.
Yeah, they have a real foothold in the game now, and it's probably their best period of sustained pressure. And even looking at the pictures here, Marie, it looks like we've dropped into a flat back five almost, with four across in front of them. And obviously Carusa, who's doing absolutely brilliant. At times she's isolated, but she's winning free kicks, getting us up the pitch. But it looks like they've gone away from that box in midfield, and it's a flat four now sitting in front of the back five. I asked the last time we spoke, Marie, about us pushing forward and still maintaining that advantage, but we've dropped very deep in the last kind of 10 minutes, and it's not something I want to see.
Yeah, and also Rebecca, Canada disrupting the play at every opportunity, taking their breaks, going down. I'm not saying it's tactical, but it seems tactical.
It does look like one of those tactical injuries there with Ashley Lawrence early on. Gave them a good 3 minutes at least to just regroup and have a bit of a chat and kind of work themselves around. But look, hopefully we get through these last 5 minutes and we'll regroup ourselves and go again.
Let's go back to Adrian to count down the clock.
Buchanan under real pressure from Ciara Carusa, who's battling so hard. 6 minutes to go to half time. Ireland continuing to lead here by 1-0. It's back with Caelan Sheridan as the Irish fans again just give their team that necessary G up. A few minutes shy of half time. So important for Ireland at this stage to get to half time, because certainly the signs are that Canada are beginning to assert control on the match. Ireland just dropping off, and it's Buchanan who has it just 10 metres inside her own half. Forward to Quinn, who immediately sends it straight back to Buchanan. So no pressure on Kadisha Buchanan, and she has an option square off her. Now that option is Vanessa Gilles, who drives inside the Irish half and then sends it forward, but too much on it, and it sails behind. And Courtney Brosnan would do well just to take her time over the restart here. But certainly, as the panel, Rebecca and Alan, were suggesting, and indeed with Marie, Canada just beginning to get a grip a little here.
Yeah, they are. They're pushing up and they're leaving players up the pitch. They're right down on our back five at the moment. And, in saying that as well, we're holding our shape. We're holding a compact in the middle. We're making it really hard for them to play through. And we just saw there, with the ball played over the top, it was out of frustration.
Well, here's Jessie Fleming now for Canada, trying to slide it through for Adriana Leon on this near side. An important intervention. Good work by Ireland. Katie McCabe has possession. Leon goes to close her down. Sent down the line. Again, the run of Ciara Carusa in behind Buchanan. Carusa inside the area, and the shot from a very tight angle, but it's saved by Caelan Sheridan. Well, the angle was always against Ciara Carusa, but an attempt on target once again from Ireland, and Sheridan called into action to make the save. Perhaps not quite the power required there from Ciara Carusa, but Sheridan equal to it. Difficult angle. It was always against her, but she had a pop at goal, and that's the danger Ireland pose on the threat. And really on the counter-attack, Ciara Carusa has looked so lively. Buchanan knows she's in a match here, and she's on a yellow card, so she had to be very, very careful as the rain pours down once again in Perth. Quinn sends it long, but that's straight through to Courtney Brosnan at the other end. As the clock ticks ever closer towards half-time, we're in the 42nd minute here, and if you're just tuning in to this Game On special on 2FM, the good news: Canada 0, Republic of Ireland 1, and that opportunity for Ciara Carusa. Well, Brosnan clears it down. Sinead Farley allows it to bounce. Jade Rivera had committed herself to making contact with the ball, but it goes out of play, so Canada will have the throw, and the rain at the moment is absolutely bucketing down. It's just like being at home. Ball played into a central position, and Fleming on the stretch gets it back to Vanessa Gilles, and Canada know they're certainly in a match. Bev Priestman was saying all the right things yesterday in terms of the Irish qualities, but she tended to drop into the old physicality, and Ireland would make it a horrible game. And Ireland have certainly made it a game to savour for Irish fans here, with that goal scored by Katie McCabe direct from a corner kick in the 4th minute. The difference between the sides, and by and large Courtney Brosnan has had a pretty trouble-free evening so far. Rivera into a central position, but almost stolen for Ireland by Ciara Carusa, but in the end Fleming sends it back to Caelan Sheridan, who's a long way from her goal, about 50 metres out, and the goalkeeper, all in yellow, will send it long but straight to Niamh Fahey, and the cushioned header picked up here now by Denise O'Sullivan out to Anya Gorman on Ireland's right hand side. 119 caps and still counting for Anya Gorman. Remarkable when you consider that she made her debut all those years ago back in 2006 against Denmark. It's been a remarkable run for Anya O'Gorman, who of course retired at one point and came out of retirement to don the green jersey once again, and she's certainly playing her part so far this evening. And that right hand side that Ireland have to defend, Canada's left, is a real threat from Heitemann. Now is on the other side, Canada's right. Adriana Leon has possession, faced by Katie McCabe, sends it back now to Rivera, closed down by Farley. Quinn has it for Canada, plays the ball into a central position, and now it's Lucy Quinn to try and carry it clear for Ireland. Runs straight into Ashley Lawrence and gets herself a free kick. Good work by Ireland once again.
Yeah, it is. It was a really well played there by Nia Fahy. She just read through the lines and was able to intercept that ball and play it out to Lucy Quinn. And yeah, it looked like Lawrence's elbow was up and she ran into it, to be quite honest with you. But she's after getting the free, and we're able to settle now just moments before half time, which is a really crucial moment for Ireland. You know, we do not want to concede before half time. We need to go into that dressing room 1-0 up so we can regroup and go again in the second half. But yeah, only 2 more minutes to go, and yeah, we've got a free kick here and Nia Fahy is about to take it.
Yeah, halfway inside our own half, and of course it's a feature like the Men's World Cup in Qatar. Pretty lengthy additional time to be added on at the end of both halves, and we've had a couple of delays as a couple of Canadian players during the course of the first half required treatment, as the ball is worked back to Buchanan by Jessie Fleming, and now it's Rivera on Canada's right hand side, just a metre or two inside the Canadian half, but back with Buchanan now to Jade Rivera. And Rivera takes a touch or two. Sinead Farley just dropping off Jade Rivera. Adriana Leon back to Jade Rivera. And now into a more central position for Quinn, who goes to ground. But Ireland have managed to break it up. And now Rusha Littlejohn sends it out to Ireland's right-hand side. And Ireland threatening once again with Lucy Quinn. Carusa through the middle on the edge of the area. Still Quinn. Will she try and hold it up and wait for the cavalry to arrive? In the end, it's well defended by Canada, and they knock the ball out of play. Vanessa Gilles getting in a very timely clearance for Canada. 5 additional minutes to be added on, but once again Ireland offering a real threat on the break.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucy did really well. She was trying to find Kyra Carusa, and she obviously couldn't see Carusa, so she opted to go herself, and it was a big interception from Canada at that crucial moment. But it's really positive for Ireland. You know, we're finding those passes, we're exploiting the spaces both right and left, and yeah, hopefully we can continue to create chances. We've got a great opportunity here with a throw in to Ireland, so hopefully, or corner kick even.
Corner kick, yeah. Julia Grosso with a poor attempt at working the ball clear for Canada. It results in a corner for Ireland, and again it's on Ireland's right hand side, but this time, unlike the previous one which was taken by Megan Connolly, this one will be swung in by Katie McCabe. She scored direct from a corner in the 4th minute. Can she repeat the dose right on half time? We're in stoppage time at the end of the first half here, and the rain is absolutely teeming down, and that breeze is getting up once again. So another tester on the way perhaps for Caelan Sheridan. McCabe with the corner, it's out towards the penalty spot. Up they rise, and Sinead Farley with the shot, charged down, appeals for handball. Megan Connolly to send it back in, and it's blocked out of play, and it'll be a corner kick for Ireland. And certainly some hands were raised in terms of appealing for a penalty kick there as the corner was swung in, but no further action required. But Buchanan is down in injury time here, so the rain is absolutely lashing at the moment here, but it's typical Irish conditions, so that won't unduly trouble the girls in green at the moment, who lead here in stoppage time at the end of the first half by 1-0.
Yeah, Buchanan got a nasty one straight into the chest there. It completely winded her, and she's currently down on the floor, and the bucketing it down rain. It's swirling around the stadium at the moment. But yeah, she took a heavy one there.
And it has to be said, a lot of the Irish fans are exposed to the elements here. It's that kind of stadium, and that swirling breeze is making life difficult. We're rather fortunate. We're well covered where we are, but it will be a corner kick. And maybe, what do you think? Should we go to Swords? What do you think, and see what they're saying? What do you think?
Yeah, let's see what the girls are saying.
I wonder what's going on in Swords.
Well, we are anxiously awaiting half-time here in Swords, but very impressed with how Ireland have done so far, Alan.
Oh, they've been absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we mentioned Canada have gotten that foothold, but never really troubled us. There was that chance from Giaz, the centre half, just towards the mid part of the first half. That was the only real chance that they've created. But again, we're on the front foot here, winning a corner as a drop to Farley. Really good opportunity, good block from Buchanan. And just once we get in now at half-time, obviously with the 1-0 advantage intact, Marie, we'll be delighted with the overall first half.
Yeah, so many breaks in play, different injuries for Canada. A horrible night, but Ireland doing so well, very comfortable in the conditions, I must say, watching the wind and the rain there, Rebecca.
Yeah, we're well used to that. I'd say we'd be probably praying for that over in those parts, to get a little bit of an advantage. But look, it's just a case of getting through these last few minutes now and getting back in and seeing what we do for the second half. Look, Buchanan there, one of their top players, looks a little bit in a touch of trouble, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Ireland are making it very uncomfortable, Adrian.
And Megan Connolly's corner breaks on the edge of the area, and in the end the flag is raised, so it'll be a goal kick for Caelan Sheridan to take as the rain continues to lash down in Perth. Quinn has it, plays it square now to Vanessa Gilles. Ireland just dropping off towards their halfway line with Ciara Carusa on the fringe of the centre circle. Ball played down Canada's left hand side by Ashley Lawrence, very experienced player. Ashley Lawrence winning her, well, the same as Anya Gorman, her 119th cap here this evening. This game kicked off at 1 o'clock lunchtime in Ireland and 8 o'clock in the morning Canadian time, as Kadisha Buchanan, who is on the receiving end of that shot, that driven shot by Sinead Farley a few moments ago, back and in the fullness of her health, plays the ball square, and they work it down that left hand side. Grosso trying to engineer something. Anya Gorman just stepping away. The ball is driven into the area. Megan Connolly, it's got in. The attempted clearance, it was a bit of a nothing ball, but it fizzed off the ground, and Megan Connolly at full stretch may have got something on it, but right on the stroke of half time, Canada have got a break here, and they've levelled it up at a goal apiece. So unfortunate for Ireland and for Megan Connolly. The cross on the left hand side just taking a nick, and it ends up in the back of the net. Cruel on Ireland.
This is what we've been saying. These are the moments we cannot concede. Going in at half-time, on the brink of half-time, and we concede. This is not what we wanted going into half-time, but look, there's still another 45 minutes to go after the half-time whistle blows, but that is just an absolute sucker punch for Ireland. They really didn't deserve that.
Well, it was a bit of a scruffy goal. It was Grosso's cross from the left-hand side. A cluster of bodies. Megan Connolly tried to get something on it, and it just flicked off Courtney Brosnan's left-hand post and into the back of the net in the squally conditions that prevail in Perth. And Canada have got themselves an equalising goal, and Ireland, who've been so brave for so much of the first half, undone in stoppage time at the end of the first period. Well, that's a real sucker punch, but Ireland have to try and ride it out and get to half-time. And this game, it's very tight between these two, but Ireland certainly have proven over the course of the opening half they're well capable of exploiting Canada defensively, as Ashley Lawrence, facing her own goal, manages to work it through Grosso on halfway, and the ball goes out of play. But they have to maintain their focus now, can't concede before half-time, and have to remain confident despite that obvious setback, Claire.
Yeah, of course, 5 minutes before half-time, 5 minutes after half-time are extremely crucial in games of football, and they need to just regroup and try and get back together and do what they were doing right in the first half, because they were absolutely excellent, and that's just an absolute sucker blow. They need to regroup now and rally together and try and create some more chances, because we need to go after this game now.
We're in the 7th minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half, as Ruesha Littlejohn plays it out to Ireland's left hand side for Katie McCabe, and now she puts the head down and goes steaming forward for Ireland down the left hand side, being tracked by Adriana Leon. Still Katie McCabe towards the byline, and it needed dealing with, and Kadisha Buchanan across from the middle managed to get a block on it and knock the ball out of play. This may well be the last play of the first half. We're in the 8th additional minute. Katie McCabe sends it all the way back to Ruesha Littlejohn, and Littlejohn takes a touch and links up with Sinead Farley on the angle of the area, but Quinn has managed to win it back for Canada, prods the ball to Adriana Leon, and she sends it back to Jade Rivere, and Rivere all the way back to Caelan Sheridan, and Caelan Sheridan advances to the edge of our area, and still we go on. We're in the 53rd 23rd minute of the first half here. Now Quinn has possession on halfway for Canada, out to Jade Rivera on Canada's right hand side, about 15 metres inside the Irish half. Quinn battling there with Sinead Farley. The ball breaks to Grosso, who gets the return of Quinn, and now Grosso feeds it forward, and Huitema managed to get away with it. She miscued her initial pass, and now it's with Lawrence on Canada's left hand side trying to take on Anya Gorman. Goes down the outside and Anya Gorman just prods the ball out of play, but it will be a corner kick for Canada right on the stroke of half time. We're in the 54th minute, well defended by Anya Gorman, but it is going to be a corner kick for Canada, and this is going to be another test defensively for Ireland here, and in particular for Courtney Brosnan and Canada, who are trailing by 1-0 into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Can they go in at the break leading? That would be unthinkable for Ireland. 1 apiece. Canada 1, Ireland 1. Corner on Canada's left hand side, a cluster of players in and around the penalty area as the corner is delivered. Brosnan, well, she made the commitment to come and didn't quite get there, and in the end Vanessa Gilles up from the back may have got the last touch on it, and that is that. The referee blows the half-time whistle. It's Republic of Ireland 1, Canada 1 at half-time. Your thoughts, Claire Shine?
Yeah, I thought they were excellent, first half. That last 5 minutes there just before half time, we seemed to just been all over the place and conceded a goal, but look, it came at the wrong time. There's no right time to concede a goal, but look, we need to go in at half time now and regroup and come out all guns blazing for the second half.
So Katie McCabe, direct from a corner kick in the 4th minute, giving Ireland the perfect start, the start they absolutely craved, but Ireland pegged back just before the break. Megan Connolly slicing the ball in off the left hand post and into the back of the net. A really unfortunate goal for Ireland to concede. So well, this game very much in the melting pot. Canada have played their way back into it. At the break here in Perth, it's Canada 1, Ireland 1.
Thanks, Adrian and Claire. I have to say, we're a bit despondent here in the Roadcaster. The kids outside, though, are not too bothered. They've went running from the big screen straight to the bouncy castle. So they don't seem concerned that Ireland conceded at the death of that half, but they did, Alan Cawley, and it was really disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing, especially when you think of the effort and the application that the girls put in that first half and how good they did. They have done. Obviously, they scored the opening goal, a magical moment from Katie. Looked like they were well settled into the game. Then Canada, to be fair, midway through the first half, started to come into the game, had their own kind of period of sustained pressure without really causing too much problems. There was kind of, it got a bit it was even Steven more or less in that midfield area. They did have one chance that we mentioned. Obviously the centre half came up, G, and she probably should have done better, to be fair. She should have scored, but then to concede in the manner in which we did right before half time as well, it was really unfortunate for Megan. Obviously she tries to come across just in front of Louise Quinn to avert the danger, and it looked like, obviously we mentioned the conditions are really, really poor. It looked like it just kind of scraped off her studs almost, like the smallest of touches, and just trickled into the corner, and it's so disappointing, especially when you consider how well we've done in that first half. But still all to play for Marie.
Yeah, because they started so strong, Rebecca. We wanted a front foot performance. We wanted them to try and break that line, to go after the game, and they did that, led by Katie McCabe at the start.
Yeah, they did it from the get-go. We looked really up for it for the first 35 minutes, and then kind of just slipped back into it. Look, we just set back too deep, and we said that halfway through the first half. We just fell into that flat back five, the four in front, and there was no sort of attacking prowess that we seen in the first few minutes with Katie going forward. And look, she carried us for a lot of the game there as well, getting us those 50-60 yards up the pitch when we were in a little bit of trouble. So look, all's not lost, as Alan has said. Look, we can't panic. Still a first half, or still a second half of football to go. We have some attacking options there as well to go after the game, the likes of Abby Lark, and still Amber Barrett and stuff on the bench. So look, we'll be positive and hope for, if not a win, a draw. It'll be nice.
Yeah, we're coming live from Swords Celtic Football Club here on 2FM, and we are surrounded by children who are very excited by the Katie McCabe goal, and of course everything else that is going on around this club as well, which is brilliant to see that they are so engaged in this Republic of Ireland team. I think, Alan, we're probably guilty of getting carried away earlier on in the game as well, because we weren't expecting that early goal. When it happened, then all of a sudden we started to have hope, start thinking about what this means for the group. And I guess we probably need to be a little bit more realistic now with our expectations from this Ireland team. Canada are decent. We're up against the Olympic champions. we've done as well as we possibly can, but if we can just bring that performance from the opening part of the game into the second half and try and hang on, or at least to the result, or at least even try and go after that other goal. We've proved now that we can score them. What do you think Vera's going to do?
Yeah, there's not much between the teams, Marie. Obviously the rankings suggest that there is, in terms of Canada being 7th and we're 22nd, but from what I've noticed in the game so far from covering the World Cup, there's a big disparity between some of the teams with rankings, but you shouldn't be led astray by that and believe in that, because when we see actually what takes place on the pitch, that's not the case at all, Marie. And again, it's something similar today. We saw in the Australia game, again, they're above us. Do that as well, and maybe it's just the consequence of the game sometimes, that they're getting on top and you're getting pinned in for that period. But I just felt we dropped really, really deep, and that's just inviting pressure on top of you. Now, in saying that, they weren't creating chance after chance by any means, but there is going to come a time where they will get a chance, and obviously that's what happened near the end there. And it was just an average enough cross into the box. Megan, who would probably deal with that situation 9 times out of 10, she's just unlucky in the sense that it takes that little deflection off her studs. It looks like it's a horrendous night as well, and the ball skids into the corner, so it's disappointing from that point of view. But I suppose from Vera's point of view, she should be delighted with the first half. We mentioned she wasn't going to change in her approach. We've seen that. We've been a little bit more on the front foot. Lucy Quinn, who's come into the team, has done very well down that right hand side. Sinead Farley has showed glimpses and touches as well. Kyra Cruz has led the line absolutely brilliantly, winning free kicks, so it's all to play for, Marie. I wouldn't be sitting in that. Obviously it's never a nice time to concede right before half time, but I wouldn't be sitting in that dressing room now feeling despondent. I'd be sitting there thinking, alright, we've had a good look at this Canadian team. There's a lot of talk about them, but I don't really get the talk or the hype, and it's there basically to go after the game and try and go and win it for us.
Let's have a chat about Anya O'Gorman, the first female League of Ireland player now to play at a World Cup, which is absolutely amazing for her. How have you thought she's done so far, Rebecca?
Yeah, really well. Look, she's set in there comfortably. Like, it's obviously a position that she's used to, you know, and obviously playing X amount of years. I won't calculate it now to make her look old, but now she's well used to it, and I think Anya can play anywhere. You know, she's really good, obviously attacking wise, and the domestic league here, we know that she's been top goal scorer, I don't know how many times, but she's looked comfortable. It's been kind of a few times when, you know, she's maybe dealt with balls where she could have just banged them up the park. She's hit them out for corners or throw-ins, but yeah, I have to say she settled in nicely, and I think that was always my belief, you know, knowing Anya and knowing the experience she has and the quality that she brings to any side, you know. And I think, you know, she'll be in there probably one of the ringleaders, kind of saying, look girls, don't panic, look, it's all to play for still, and we'll go again.
First Irish mammy to play the World Cup as well.
Amazing, isn't it? Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
She missed the child's first birthday, you know, which is devastating for her.
We'll allow her miss her for that.
I'm sure he won't mind when he's older, when he sees the videos and pictures. Yeah,
absolutely. Kyra Cruz, you mentioned her there, Alan. It's such a thankless role up top by herself, but we know that she's really good at holding the play up, bringing the players in, and she's shown exactly what she's capable of today.
Yeah, that's the word, Marie. You're 100% right. Thankless. It is a thankless task when you're up there, especially when we're as deep as we are at times, because you find yourself so isolated with 4 defenders around you, and obviously really top defenders in Guiez at the back and Buchanan as well, and she's caused Buchanan all sorts of problems. She's on a yellow card as well from one of the tackles where Carusa came in, nipped it off her, and it was a cynical foul, dragged her back. So Carusa has led the line so well, and it just goes to show that when you have someone up the front like that, Marie, who will hold it up for you, that allows you to get up the pitch. If we can just get up a little bit quicker, maybe in support, I know it's a big distance to travel sometimes when you are sitting deep, but just if we can get up in support of Carusa, because she's led the line so well, she's been magnificent. A far cry from what we've seen against Australia, and maybe that was through no fault of hers, but certainly she's seen a lot more of the ball today, and she's dealt with it so much better, and as I say, brought the midfielders into the game. She's played really well.
Now, I should have said first female League of Ireland player to start for Ireland, because of Abby Larkin obviously at the last day, her Shamrock Rovers teammate. Do you think we're going to see changes for Ireland now at half time, Rebecca?
I don't think initially. I think we'll give it about 15-20, see how we get on, you know, and then look at the prime time probably to bring the likes of Abby in if we're not getting a goal, you know, or obviously looking to get a goal, which we will be. So yeah, look, I don't see why not. You know, she showed her quality against Australia. She was probably at the start of most of her attacks in that last 15 minutes against Australia. So it's if it stays the way it is, if it stays at 1-0, why not?
It'll tell us a lot, Marie, just about where Vera's mindset is at, in the sense that we obviously spoke about the tough games with Australia and Canada, and because Canada suffered the draw as well, that we'll be still very much in the group, all to play for on Monday if we come out of here with a point. So 20 minutes, 25 minutes into the second half, if we're still 1-1, the big question then, and obviously it's been a big question mark around this team in terms of the attacking approach, but with only 20 minutes to go, does Vera go for broke and try and go for the win? A lot will tell in terms of the substitutions that she does make at that stage of the game, or if she doesn't make the substitutions, she's basically accepting the point and thinking that we have the 1-1 draw here, take the point and take our chances against Nigeria. I mentioned at the start, if this was to finish 1-1 and we're coming into the game with a shootout with Nigeria, I would snap your hand off for that now, and I think Vera would have as well at the start of the group, never mind the start of today.
What's she going to do, Al?
From what we know of Vera, if this is 1-1 after 25 minutes, she will be counting down the clock and she'll be delighted to take the point.
I feel like I was counting down the clock from like 30 minutes.
I know.
I was talking about us topping the group and everything.
In saying that, she also has the likes of Diane Caldwell as well to bring on, that to maybe, if she is looking to hold that draw, just solidify the back line as well. So you just don't know with her.
You absolutely do not know with her. Just interesting, even the fact we're talking about Abby Larkin there, it does feel now that Abby Larkin has bypassed Amber Barrett when it comes to when you're looking to your bench, Alan. Yeah,
possibly because of her impact was so good, but still in all, in saying that, I think Carusa's done so well, it's going to be hard for her to maintain that for 70-75 minutes, and it might be a straight swap then. You could still see Abby coming on, but it might be just a straight swap for Amber for Carusa at that stage, because I don't think we'll see Louise Quinn going up the pitch today if it's 1-1. She'll be sitting rock solid at the back there, so don't be.
And that's where we'll want to see her as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about Vera. We know her so well, Marie. I can nearly bank on it now. If it's 1-1 with 25 minutes to go, she won't empty the bench by any means and go after the game. I think even though I think I'd be brave in the sense that I'd maybe bring on Abby or someone and try and go for it. I think Vera, if it's 1-1, she'll be delighted to get out of here, take the point and take her chance against Nigeria.
What about the midfield, Rebecca? How do you think they're performing?
Yeah, the last few minutes there, the last 20 or so, we just looked a little bit disjointed. There's a few gaps were opening up. We'd seen that flat back four obviously creeping in, and there was times when Rusha was going, Denise was going, so we were just wide open midfield. So look, it'll be a case the same as they're tireless workers, and I'm conscious obviously Rusha carrying niggles before games or before the previous game. I don't know if she looks and I think like
Adrian mentioned in the first game she covered 11k as well, so serious work rate from Rusha, so you don't want to lose her, and exactly. It's a question, can she go again for the full 45 minutes?
Thing, and obviously if we're going into that Nigeria game with huge hopes, put her onto into inside, get the shower early and bring, and
there's options there. Lily Agg is obviously there, who's had a big impact in the campaign. She's something similar with her energy as well with Rusha, so there is options to bring people off the bench in that regard. It doesn't just have to be bring Abby on to try and win the match. It might be a case of you're bringing Lily Agg just as a straight swap to give you the same energy and legs as what Rusha, so there is options there in terms, and this is where the squad comes in, Marie. This is why they've had the big build up, the 6-week camp, the 23 in the squad. Everybody needs to play a part at some point, and today could be Lily Agg's day, we don't know.
Well, it hasn't been Canada's day so far, has it, at all, Rebecca? When you think about the expectation we had on them ahead of the tournament and what they're delivering out in the pitch.
Not at all. I was, all this hype around Jessie Fleming coming back in instead of Sinclair. I was expecting, everything to happen, goals to be going in left, right and centre. It's been none of the case at all. And obviously Buchanan as well looked quite rattled with Carusa up top. Carusa is looking so strong, and Buchanan is quite a strong and tough player herself, but she's been on the ground more times than I've ever seen, and I think Claire mentioned as well, she's quite similar with Chelsea. She doesn't seem to get in as much with them at all, but look, it's a case that we've done really well against them. Or Quinn in there as well, number 5 for Canada, has maybe strung a few passes together for them, but nothing that's kind of threatened us. So look, it's a case that we've kind of battened down the hatches in some
and
cases.
Even Marie, you were saying there about us being realistic. Sometimes we have to be. We do get carried away. It's our first ever World Cup.
You did say we could top the group.
Well, that was true. That was earlier in the game. No, but honestly, in terms of people's expectations as well, I know it was like, obviously we've all opinions, and people have to fill print and write different columns for papers and all sorts of things, and of course the question mark was all around the attacking side of it. Can we flip and maybe produce more of that? But when you think of the start of the group, obviously you're going in against Australia, who are ranked 10th in the world, Canada, the Olympic champions, ranked 7th in the world. It was always going to be a tough ask, and to be fair, I think they've delivered after a game and a half, they've been absolutely brilliant. Obviously, coming out with a undeserved loss against Australia, I would say the least they deserved was a point. And to come in here, take the lead, give as good as you're getting against Canada, suffer an unfortunate goal towards the end of half time, caused them a few problems as well. I think overall Vera should be very proud of the girls, and everybody that's there cheering them on and supporting them should be very proud of them as well.
Yeah, because it's been such a lively performance, and sometimes that's just what you want from your national team, just to seeing them alive on the pitch, go after the game, really wanted, and led by Katie McCabe, of course.
Exactly, like I think they've exceeded all expectations for everybody, you know, and like I know it's a case of, you know, being the underdogs. We love that tag, and I think people just thought we've made the World Cup now, that's it, happy days. But these girls and this squad and Vera and the backroom staff went in with an objective to go and, you know, make an impact on this tournament, and I think they've done that. And again, look, it's still going to be the case that they're very much underdogs still right now, you know, but they've not shown that in the first half. And I know if anyone was neutral watching this, they'd be looking saying, right, Ireland have a great chance here of doing something in the group, and look, hopefully we come out on the other side.
Well said. Okay, let's go back to Perth and see how this second half plays out, and join Claire and Adrian.
Very good, Marie. Welcome back for the second half. The rain has abated. Canada have made 3 changes at half time. Christine Sinclair, their woman of goals, and Ireland making a change as well. Abby Larkin is on, but Zadorsky, Christine Sinclair and Sophie Schmidt all on. Kadisha Buchanan was on a yellow card. Julia Grosso has also gone off for Canada, and will confirm the third one, the third change made by Canada. But more importantly, from an Irish perspective, Abby Larkin is on for the second half as the referee sounds the whistle, and away we go for the second period. And it looks like Lucy Quinn is gone. Lucy Quinn is gone for Ireland for the second half. So Vera Pauw making a change. Larkin on for the second half. Huge impact off the bench against Australia last Thursday in Sydney. Can she provide a similar spark for Ireland this evening? Ireland, who've been rocked back, pegged back right on the blow of half time, that rather unfortunate own goal. Megan Connolly at full stretch, across from Julia Grosso on Canada's left hand side. She was at full stretch in the wintry conditions, and the greasy ball just it just whipped off the surface and trickled in off the left hand upright, defended by Courtney Brosnan. Meanwhile, Ireland were defending to do inside their own penalty area. Ruisha Littlejohn initially got it away. Zadorsky, one of the changes made by Canada, working it back, and certainly Bev Priestman making 3 changes at half time. It's a big call to make 3, but obviously Buchanan was on a yellow card as well. So Zadorsky, Sinclair and Sophie Smith on for Canada in the second half. Abby Larkin on for Ireland as the ball is played forward, but it'll run through to Courtney Brosnan in the Irish goal. And great for Canada to be able to bring on a player of the experience and quality of Christine Sinclair. In case you're not aware of her statistics, it's quite something, it has to be said. Absolutely amazing player in terms of what she has given to Canada down through the years. She's on for her 325th international appearance and 190 goals. It's quite staggering, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely remarkable, and to be able to bring someone of that calibre off the bench, you know, it just shows that, you know, they were not happy with the first half, making 3 substitutions. They bring on, you know, their all-time goal scorer to see if she can make some changes and score some goals, and, you know, hopefully Ireland can match that, and bringing on, you know, Abby Larkin, it just shows Vera is looking to go after this game and bringing on that pace up front, and hopefully Abby can stamp her mark in this game as well as she did against Australia.
Well, Sophie Schmidt, who's playing in her very final World Cup at the age of 35, she said she will retire. This is her 5th World Cup tournament, so she's on for Canada, getting involved there straight away. So Canada with Christine Sinclair on for the second half. She'll have been disappointed, I'm sure, with her own display against Nigeria in the goalless draw. That penalty saved, splendidly saved, it has to be said, by Nadozie in the Nigerian goal. But it was a big moment in the match. And obviously some raised eyebrows when the Canadian starting 11 was revealed a little earlier, and she wasn't included, although it was being speculated, as Schmidt rolls it forward. Ireland have to be on their mettle in the second half. Ruisha Littlejohn under pressure from Sinclair. The ball breaks to Ireland's left hand side, and it's picked up by Katie McCabe deep inside her own half, and she rolls it back to Megan Connolly, and the woman from Turner's Cross sends it back now to Courtney Brosnan. And Brosnan, all in sky blue this evening, takes a touch just outside her 6-yard box, and then right-footed, sends it downfield in the direction of Abby Larkin, who gets the break ahead of Sophie Schmidt, sent forward by Quinn for Canada, but Rusha Littlejohn seizes on it and works it out to Katie McCabe, Ireland's left-hand side, just on halfway. Forced back though by the presence of Jade Rivere, but McCabe, the Arsenal woman, does a turn at the full 360 and lays it off to Sinead Farley on Ireland's left hand side. She's been forced to drop deep inside her own half, and Littlejohn sends it back to Megan Connolly, and now it's all the way back with Courtney Brosnan, and the press really coming on from Canada. They're working hard now to close down the space in front of the Irish players, and Ireland forced into knocking the ball out of play despite the best attempts of Anya Gorman to keep it alive. Lawrence with the throw in to Sophie Schmidt, who like Sinclair brings so much experience to this Canadian team. Sinclair sending it forward, opportunity for Haitama, brilliant save by Courtney Brosnan, and the ball breaks to Adriana Leon on the far side. Smashing save though by Courtney Brosnan at full stretch to keep that one out.
Yeah, geez, Ireland were really stretched there, and she took some opportunity and her strike was just phenomenal. But Courtney Brosnan, my word, what an exceptional save. She has really saved Ireland there with that one.
It was a terrific hit by Jordan Haitama, and it was bending in, but Courtney Brosnan alert. 7 clean sheets in 9 games last year. Well, she was beaten just right on the blow of half-time. Very little she could do about it. The touch that came off Megan Connolly, but at full stretch there just to knock the ball away. Zadorsky sends it back to Caelan Sheridan, who just hoists the ball into the air. Sinead Farley is underneath the dropping ball. Vanessa Gilles with the knockdown. And you do get a sense that Canada are playing with a lot more confidence in the second half, as Jessie Fleming is fouled, and it's a free kick for Canada halfway inside their own half. And Caelan Sheridan, well, she raced out towards the edge of her penalty area, but we'll leave it for Zadorsky. And Zadorsky, who has picked up the position occupied by Kadisha Buchanan in the first half, but clearly Beth Priestman felt there was a real danger that she could pick up a yellow card given the pace and the tenacity and work rate of Ciara Carusa. So Buchanan, the vastly experienced Kadisha Buchanan, sacrificed at half time. Anya Gorman, under pressure, has gifted the ball straight to Christine Sinclair as the ball runs loose on the far side. Adriana Leon unable to get onto it now. Abby Larkin trying to make life difficult for Lawrence, and she's done really well, Abby Larkin, but Ireland have turned it over. Jessica Fleming is onto it under pressure from Littlejohn inside the centre circle, and Quinn plays it out to Canada's right hand side, and Rivere sends it back to Vanessa Gilles, and Ireland putting the squeeze on at Canada now, and it's all the way back to the goalkeeper Caelan Sheridan, and now Rivere. Ireland working hard to try and win it back, and in the end the ball goes out of play on the far side. Good work from Ireland to force the concession off the throw-in. Ciara Carusa, like so many of the Irish, continuing to work so hard. It's been a very brave display from Ireland so far. In the 52nd minute, it's all tied up. Game on special on 2FM. Earlier in the afternoon we'll have, of course, the regular programme between 6 o'clock and 7, but it's Canada 1, Ireland 1 at the moment, and the referee is just having a word with Jade Rivere and Katie McCabe at the moment, and just sorting out one or two matters, and play will resume with an Irish throw-in on the far side halfway inside the Canadian half, and it's sent back to Ruisha Littlejohn. Sinead Farley receives possession, tries to link up once again with Littlejohn, but Canada have managed to win it back inside their own half. Haitama breaking through the middle. She's the last player forward for Canada, and now an opportunity, and the driven shot by Adriana Leon never really got a hold of it, and it's gathered by Courtney Brosnan.
Yeah, Ireland need to get back into the game. They need to take control back. Canada have absolutely taken control in the second half. They've applied the pressure. They've made it really hard for Ireland to get a foot on the ball, and we're just making easy mistakes.
Well, the ball goes out of play on this near side. We'll be taking a trip to Swords very shortly, but it will be a throw-in for Canada on their left-hand side, to be taken by Ashley Lawrence, the Canadian Player of the Year back in 2019. And Lawrence, under real pressure, intense pressure from Denise O'Sullivan, works it infield now to Quinn. Quinn being pressurised by Ciara Carusa, who's working so hard. And now the ball played into the penalty area. Big chance here, and it's knocked into the back of the net. And Canada lead by 2-1. Adriana Leon inside the area, and Ireland, well, they were in front in the 4th minute, but Canada have turned this game on its head, and they now lead by 2-1. And Brosnan has been beaten for a second time in the match. Canada 2, Ireland 1, and it's a soft one to concede for Ireland, but Adrian Leon was in the right position to pounce, and Canada lead by 2-1.
I've said it, just before half time, the 5 minutes before half time, the 5 minutes after half time. I know it's just after that, but they're the most crucial moments in a game, and we're after conceding twice in that 10 minutes, and it's just really unfortunate. We switched off and they absolutely just played through us, and yeah, it's 2-1 Canada now.
Adriana Leon with a very fine finish under pressure from Katie McCabe, who was arriving to try and close down the space, took one touch and then prodded the ball beyond the despairing Courtney Brosnan from about 9 metres out from goal. It was a real quality finish from Adriana Leon to register her 29th international goal, and Ireland, who were in dreamland so early in Perth, now find themselves behind here. Remember, of course, Ireland need to get a positive result. Defeat here and the game against Nigeria on Monday in Brisbane becomes purely academic, but the Olympic champions have turned it around, and those changes made at the start of the second half have really pushed Ireland back, and now they're looking for a third goal here, led off by Sinclair to Fleming, and there's a real flow about Canada right now out on that right hand side. Adriana Leon, who was in the right place to apply the finish, and the cross delivered in away by Louise Quinn, who got her head to it. And Ireland will just need to see out the next few minutes here, because Canada will feel that they can smell blood, Irish blood that is. Risha Littlejohn is beaten to it. Canada all confidence at the moment, and the driven shot, well, it goes to the left hand side and wide, and it was Adriana Leon once again with the attempt. I'll tell you what, we'll take a trip to Swords now and see what the gang there think. Marie.
Yeah, disappointment here with that goal, and I think also, Alan, just the fact that they've really started to get a foothold in the game.
Yeah, they've started on the front foot in the second half. They've obviously made 3 changes as well, so they're going after the game, and just unfortunately Katie's just on the wrong side, obviously trying to get round on the cover, but she's just on the wrong side, and it's a good finish by Leon. And it's just important that we don't concede. Just try and settle ourselves for 10 minutes, Marie, and if it stays the same, then obviously we'll have to just chase the game. But if I fear that if we concede in the next 5 or 10 minutes, that's game over.
A huge 5 or 10 minutes ahead. Back to you, Adrian.
Sophie Schmidt works it back to Zadorsky, and Schmidt, who brings a real calm presence to the centre of midfield for Canada, out to the left hand side. And it's Heitema on the turn, but she just knocks the ball out of play. It was very, very tight, the space she was operating in. Irish throw-in taken quickly by Onyo Gorman. Halfway inside the Irish half, sends it all the way back now to the Galway lass, Niamh Fahey, outside her own penalty area. Thought about going square, but that's a clever ball to pick out Russia Littlejohn in a central midfield position. Out to Sinead Farley, who drives down Ireland's left-hand side. Katie McCabe getting forward for Ireland, who trail here now by 2-1. McCabe cutting inside into a more central position. Back to Littlejohn, out to Ireland's left-hand side now to Farley. Farley faced by Quinn of Canada. Back to Russia Littlejohn. Good spell of possession this for Ireland, but in the end Russia Littlejohn just caught in possession, and Canada managed to knock the ball out of play on the far side of the pitch. So we've played 11 minutes, in fact 11 and a half minutes of the second half. Canada now lead by 2-1. Goals either side of half time. An own goal of the unfortunate Megan Connolly, and Adriana Leon with the lead goal for Canada, who of course drew their first game with Nigeria last Friday in Melbourne, 0-0. So if it stays like this, they'll move on to 4 points. Ireland need a positive result. A draw will keep things alive for Ireland, but defeat will mean that Ireland will bow out of the World Cup with 1 game to spare. After that brilliant start from the corner kick, which was swung in by Katie McCabe. And Canada getting ready to make yet another change. So too will Ireland. Marissa Shiva will be on, and Chloe Lacasse will be introduced by Bev Priestman for Canada in the next few moments, as Vera Pauw, hands on hips, watches on. Caelan Sheridan, right-footed, out to Canada's right-hand side, where it's intercepted by Megan Connolly. The ball goes out of play, and Lacasse, who certainly had an impact off the bench against Nigeria in that 0-0 draw, is going to be introduced, and so too Marissa Shiva, who was so unfortunate and was obviously devastated at the concession of the penalty. And Onyo Gorman goes off, and Marissa Shiva is the player who comes on for the Republic of Ireland. The change being made by Canada with Chloe Lacasse being introduced. And the goal scorer is going off Adriana Leon. So interesting change made with Anya being sacrificed.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it that Marissa Shiva has gone back into that defensive role, or is Vera wanting her to push up the pitch and us to play as a back three? I'm not too sure, but it looks like she's sitting into that defensive role, and yeah, hopefully we can be more attacking. You know, we need to get after this game now, so hopefully Marissa Shiva is going to be another attacking force for us, and we can start creating chances, because at the moment we're just completely not in control.
Louise Quinn under pressure here, and the ball runs loose. In Canada, we're looking for a free kick. Megan Connolly is there to mop up for Ireland under pressure from Jessie Fleming on the far side of the pitch, halfway inside the Irish half. The ball goes out of play. Last touch came off Fleming, so it will be a throw-in for Ireland. Back with Megan Connolly, and she sends it long, right-footed, up towards halfway. Vanessa Gilles wins possession back for Canada inside the centre circle. Out to this near side to Ashley Lawrence, and Lawrence left-footed. Well, it's a poor ball straight to Nia Fahy, and Fahy sends it forward now to Denise O'Sullivan under pressure, and there's a late challenge by Denise O'Sullivan on Jordan Huitema, and that results in a free kick. Denise O'Sullivan, as we mentioned during the course of the first half, carrying a yellow card into this game, so she'll be hoping the referee takes no further action, and the Argentinian official decides not to take any further action against the Irish player. But it is a free kick for Canada, about 10 metres in from the near hand sideline, and Jessie Fleming is over the dead ball, and Sophie Schmidt is there as well, so they'll try and swing it in. Ireland again defending on the edge of their penalty area. Schmidt leaves it for Fleming to deliver very deep towards the back post. Louise Quinn back defending, sent back in by Lacasse. It breaks to Quinn just outside the Irish penalty area, far side of the pitch, works it down the line now, and the attempted cross is blocked down, and it'll be a throw-in for Canada on the far side of the pitch. In fact, the decision goes in favour of Ireland, and the Canadian has thrown the ball away, Vanessa Gilles, and the referee dishes the yellow card as a result. No surprise in that decision.
No, absolutely not. She just threw the ball completely away from our player, and yeah, she deserves that yellow card, to be perfectly honest. Time wasting.
Over an hour played in Perth, Ireland trailing by 2-1 to Canada, the Olympic champions, who trailed after 4 minutes to Katie McCabe's in-swinging corner kick, but they've managed to turn it around. Ireland in need of, at the very least, a draw to maintain their interest at the 2023 World Cup finals in Australia and New Zealand. But it's Canada who've taken a grip on the second half. They've got a throw on the far side to be taken by Jade Rivere, the right back, so it'll be a long throw in into the Irish penalty area in the direction of Christine Sinclair, just booted away by Louise Quinn. And Ireland really need to get a grip of the game and just try and get control of the ball, because Canada are dominant at the moment.
Yeah, completely. We need a bit of composure in there. We need the characters to shine through in these moments. You know, we're chasing the game. We need a composed attitude right now, and you know, we need to forget about what happened. We need to go after the game. We need to start creating chances, because we're just, you know, lumping the ball up the pitch and hoping for the best. We need to do what we did in the first, 30 minutes of the first half. We know we have it in us to do it, and hopefully we can just start getting a foot in the game, because Canada have complete control.
It's with Quinn just inside the Irish half, sends it forward to Sinclair with the first time layoff. Sophie Schmidt back to Sinclair, this for 3-1, but straight at Brosnan. Well, it really opened up for Christine Sinclair, scorer of so many goals for Canada, but straight at Brosnan, and relief there for Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. They cut right through them again, and yeah, I'm actually very surprised with Christine Sinclair there, because I was expecting the ball to ripple off the net. So yeah, we got away with another one there, and we're just giving the ball away so cheaply at the moment, and it's just very frustrating.
Yeah, and to underline your point there, Marissa Shiva with a throw in straight to a Canadian player. This time she sends it down the line to Sinead Farley, who takes control of the ball, hooks it on in the direction of Ciara Carusa. And Canada just knocked the ball out of play on this near side. Ireland's right, halfway inside the Canadian half, and the resulting throw-in to be taken by Marissa Shiva. So disconsolate after coughing up that penalty in Sydney. And she's on during the course of the second half. And she takes the throw-in down the line, looking for Sinead Farley, but Jordan Huitema, the 22-year-old from Chilliwack in British Columbia intervenes and knocks the ball out of play. Ciara Caruso rising. The header from Sophie Schmidt for Canada. It breaks here for Denise O'Sullivan just outside the area, trying to link up with Ruesha Littlejohn. Breaks to Katie McCabe, Ireland's left hand side. Forced away from goal now, Ireland. Katie McCabe on the spin out to Ruesha Littlejohn. Lovely little flick on by Ruesha Littlejohn. The cross from Katie McCabe into a very dangerous area, and it's headed over the top. But what an opportunity for Ireland. Ciara Caruso arriving inside the area as Vera Pauw watches on. That's more like it from Ireland. Caruso arriving inside the area. Super ball in as well. Great link-up play involving Littlejohn and Katie McCabe down that left-hand side.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Ruesha Littlejohn there. Little trick around the corner, and Katie was in to get a brilliant delivery into the box. And yeah, Ciara Caruso just couldn't get under it, and it sailed over the bar.
Drops just over. Unfortunate for Ireland. She was under pressure as she made contact with the ball. So Caelan Sheridan with the restart for Canada. Nia Fahy facing her own goal. Just volleys the ball down the line. 3 on the way for Ireland. Amber Barrett, Lily Agg and Izzy Atkinson about to come on for the girls in green. Vera Pauw has to go for broke here. 20 minutes gone in the second half. So the changes coming. Ciara Caruso, what a game she's had. She's absolutely run her legs to a standstill. So Amber Barrett, the hero of Glasgow, is on, and Lily Agg is on for her first minutes. Ruesha Littlejohn goes off, and Izzy Atkinson is the third player. And not too surprising that Sinead Farley is the player who goes off. I say not too surprising, given that she's just on the comeback trail in terms of competitive football. She hasn't had too many minutes in the legs, so she goes off. Always likely to last just past the hour mark, and off she goes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's nice to see Izzy coming on into that left back role. You know, it allows Katie McCabe to get up the pitch where she's dangerous, and we need her in those higher areas at the moment so we can create something and hopefully get something from this.
So Katie McCabe pushed forward for Ireland. Ireland's need is great here. They need a goal to get back into this game. Canada leading by 2-1. Jade Rivere on the far side of the pitch has lost out here, and Ireland have possession. The ball pinged out to this right hand side, but it's gifted possession back to Canada, who try to assume control once again through Quinn, who always seems to have so much time on the ball. Played forward by Jade Rivere down the line for Lacasse, who's heading off to join Katie McCabe at Arsenal. And Ireland haven't managed to retain possession, and Canada just knocking the ball around at the moment inside the Irish half with Zadorsky out to Ashley Lawrence on this near side, closed down by Denise O'Sullivan. And Ireland have managed to get control of the ball back once again now with Lily Agg. And Lily Agg, right-footed, sends it forward, but cut out by Quinn for Canada, on by Christine Sinclair, out to Jordan Huitema, Canada's left-hand side. Abby Larkin back defending, with Huitema driving inside the area, and at the angle tries to deliver the cross. Still Jordan Huitema, and still there for Canada. Rolls it back now to Ashley Lawrence, and Lawrence delivers the cross. Is a tempting ball in as well towards Sinclair, who gets something on it, but not enough really to trouble Courtney Brosnan in the Irish goal. She just nudged the ball goalwards, and it's gathered by Courtney Brosnan.
Yeah, that was a great delivery into Sinclair. I don't think she realised the ball was actually coming to her, and it just knocked off her. If she had connected anyway, that was into the back of the net. And yeah, look, we got away with another one. We need to get up that pitch. We need to start creating chances and getting a foot in the ball and using our wide players and getting balls into the box for the likes of Amber Barrett.
Good work by Abby Larkin to send it on in the direction of Amber Barrett, but that will run through to Caelan Sheridan. So many Irish supporters inside the rectangular stadium in Perth this afternoon, as it is Irish time this evening, night time of course in Perth. And well, they are urging the team on in the closing stages. Ireland need a goal as Caelan Sheridan feeds it out to Quinn halfway inside the Canadian half. A lot of space for Quinn to drive into, out to Fleming, and Fleming with Jade Rivere on the outside, and Rivere now an opportunity perhaps to deliver the cross, but instead sends it down the line. Lacasse with the delivery, and Huitema with the glancing header goalwards, but again it's straight at Courtney Brosnan, but again another scare for Ireland.
Yeah, another great delivery into the box, another header, a clean header. There was no one contesting for that, and you know, Ireland, they need to, as I said earlier, need to start putting tackles in and letting them know that we're here. You know, we've lost control over the game, and we need to start getting back into it and hopefully start creating something.
Well, careless from Canada. They gifted Ireland a throw-in on the far side, and Ireland will get another throw-in near the corner flag as Vanessa Gilles knocks the ball out of play. So Ireland trailing by 2-1 and looking for an equalising goal in Perth. Throw in to come here on the far side of the pitch. Amber Barrett just in and around the 6-yard box at the moment. Katie McCabe close by to receive. Lily Agg also making herself available to receive the throw in, but instead it's thrown towards Denise O'Sullivan. Bit of a heavy touch, but Ireland have possession with Megan Connolly. Plays it square just inside the Canadian half to Nia Fahy, fed out to Ireland's right to Marissa Shiva. And Shiva, faced by Ashley Lawrence, delivers the cross towards Amber Barrett. And Barrett, while she was trying to spin and turn and make contact with the ball in the same movement, the ball just skipped off the surface and through to Caelan Sheridan in the Canadian goal.
Yeah, it was a great ball into Amber. It just bounced up and took a skid off the surface and just went by Amber. But it was a great run and a great move. And yeah, hopefully we can continue doing that.
24 minutes played in the second half. Canada leading by 2-1. Little spell for the Republic of Ireland of possession. Marissa Shiva to take the throw in to Denise O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan from Knocknaheeny and Cork just out muscle, but Shiva is there to pick up the pieces for Ireland. Here's Lily Agg, who gave up teaching several months ago to concentrate on football, works it out to Ireland's left hand side. Izzy Atkinson sends it down the line, but the ball just bounces out of play on the far side, and Canada will have themselves a throw in about 40 metres or 30 metres maybe from their corner flag. Quinn sending it forward now to Christine Sinclair, who cushions the ball, brings it under control. It's Quinn onto it again for Canada. Out to Lacasse on the far side. Izzy Atkinson from Rush in North County Dublin, quick in to challenge, but now Canada on the break on the far side with Lacasse. Heitema arriving inside the area. Still Canada threatening inside the area. Teed up here now for Sophie Schmidt, who sends it back to Quinn, who sprays it out to Canada's left hand side. Ashley Lawrence to deliver the cross, and it's a tempting ball in as well, and the diving header from Chloe Lacasse just off target in the end. And another warning for Ireland. 20 minutes to go. Canada leading by 2-1, and Canada might have made it 3-1 there through Chloe Lacasse.
Yeah, we've just started to step off them. There's no one putting pressure on the ball to the outside the box, and it's just allowing them that space and time to put the ball in. And we can't have that at this level, and next time they could have really punished us. Here goes Abby Larkin down Ireland's right hand side. Marissa Shiva making an advanced run as well ahead of Abby Larkin, who goes to ground under that challenge. A combination of Quinn and Heitema closing down the space. It'll be a free kick, but Quinn the guilty party, and it's a free kick for Ireland about 20 metres inside the Canadian half, just a metre in from the sideline. And Katie McCabe from Ireland's right hand side thinks about taking the free kick, but instead she will leave it to Megan Connolly to take. And now Canada with that defensive high line just on the D as Ireland attack. They go short with it. Katie McCabe receives from Megan Connolly, and McCabe hangs it up. Louise Quinn in there dueling. It'll break on the far side to Izzy Atkinson to sweep it back in. Atkinson with a devilish ball in, and Quinn repels it at the near post. Good defending, and now the break is on for Canada. Ireland a little short change defensively. Marissa Shiva back defending, so too Katie McCabe. Played out to Canada's right hand side, and Marissa Shiva will win the chase ahead of Chloe Lacasse and engineers the ball back to her goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan. And it just looked a little open there for Ireland defensively, but they managed to scramble. Yeah, it was nearly a 2v2 there in their counter attack, but we recovered well and we got the bodies behind the ball, and we have that possession now with Izzy Atkinson on the left hand side looking to break inwards. Yeah, into a central position to Lily Agg inside the centre circle, and she just received a knock as she made contact with the ball. Fed out to Abby Larkin from Ringsend. Watch parties going on all around Ireland, none more so than the one in Ringsend, watching their star player Abby Larkin, who feeds the ball down the line. It'll be a throw in for Ireland. Denise O'Sullivan will leave it to Marissa Shiva. Shiva takes a throw in, but it's a foul throw. Well, that's a waste from Ireland in a very promising position. Vera Powell watches on. Ireland continuing to trail here in the 73rd minute. Canada 2, Republic of Ireland 1. We'll dip aside to Izzy Atkinson, closed down by the defending Chloe Lacasse, who's managed to get control of the ball for Canada. Strokes it infield now to Quinn, and now it's Canada who are dictating the ball once again with Sophie Schmidt, sending it back to Zadorsky. And now Lawrence back to Zadorsky, just outside the Canadian penalty area. And it's sent forward to Sophie Schmidt, and Schmidt tosses the ball out to that right hand side to Jade Rivera, and now back with Vanessa Gilles, and Gilles plays it square to Zadorsky. The rain, which was
so prevalent in the course of the first half has eased off. Precious little rain in the second period, but the conditions still pretty greasy. Careless from Canada, gifting possession back to Ireland, who have it now once again through Denise O'Sullivan. Ireland try to press forward here. O'Sullivan forward to McCabe, out to Ireland's left hand side to Izzy Atkinson, controls the ball back to Denise O'Sullivan, under pressure from Jessie Fleming of Chelsea. Izzy Atkinson trying to deliver the cross, and it just cannons off the body of Jade Rivera, and out of play on the far side. Canada leading by 2-1. Ireland need to get at the very least a draw to keep alive their interest in the 2023 World Cup finals being played in Australia and New Zealand. A loose one though from Canada, giving possession back to Ireland. Here's Niamh Fahey, and Fahey with the driven shot, got right underneath it, and it tails wide. Let's take a trip to Marie and the gang in Swords.
Rebecca Craig, can you see a way that Ireland can get back into this game?
Yeah, look, we just need to mind the ball a bit more in possession. You know, we're quite sloppy when we get on the ball. You know, it's a little bit of back and forth between ourselves and Canada. It's just about getting into those wide areas now, I think. Get Abby on the ball, you know, attack them, just go for it. Obviously, you know, we need to contain ourselves at the back as well to not concede anymore. But look, we've nothing to lose. You know, get the ball into the box, hit Amber, see what we can do. Alan?
Yeah, at the moment Canada look like the more likely. Obviously they've had 3 chances in the last kind of 15 minutes, but there's only 15 minutes to go, 2-1. You might as well throw the kitchen sink at it now, Marie.
Absolutely. Back to you, Adrian.
So 15 minutes remaining, 15 minutes for Ireland to solve the puzzle here, with Canada having come from behind. Meanwhile, there's an issue here because Jordan Huitema, the Canadian winger, or sometimes central striker, is down. So once again the players come across to get liquids and some advice, I would imagine, from a Canadian viewpoint from Bev Priestman, and from an Irish one from Vera Pauw. What do you think Vera will be saying, and Tom Elms and the management team? What can they say at this point? Just keep at it.
Keep at it. You know, we know what we're capable of doing, and we proved that against Australia. We proved that, you know, we are able to create chances and take chances like we did in the first half, and we can do it if we need to start believing in ourselves a little bit more going forward and take our opportunities when they come. You know, we can see that they're getting frustrated. Katie's just after firing one of her water bottles off the side of the pitch, and these are the moments that we need to keep calm heads. We need to push up the pitch, and we need to start applying pressure, because the game will slowly run away from us if we don't.
So the teams back in their set positions, and play about to resume. Ashley Lawrence preparing to take the throw in for Canada, and Jordan Huitema, who had to go off the field to play after receiving treatment, will be waved on very shortly. Lawrence just knocks the ball forward, but straight to Niamh Fahey, and Fahey with the knockdown for Katie McCabe in a central midfield position, but Quinn pounces on the ball and sends it forward to Chloe Lacasse for Canada, who goes tearing down that right hand side, taking on Izzy Atkinson. Lacasse heading towards the byline, just checks her run and rolls it all the way back to Quinn. Sophie Schmidt in a central midfield position, halfway inside the Irish half, out to that right hand side. Canada trying to threaten once again. Izzy Atkinson trying to defend the cross, which comes in. Huitema gets a touch to it. Sinclair is there. The ball runs loose, and it's Jessie Fleming out to Canada's right hand side to Lacasse. Chloe Lacasse inside the area. Still Lacasse trying to deliver the cross. It breaks on the edge of the area to Fleming. Fleming forced away from goal by the mere presence of Izzy Atkinson, and it's Quinn for Canada. Halfway inside the Irish half, all the way back to Zadorsky, who takes a touch, and now Canada just slowing the game down, trying to dictate the terms here as the ball is played through, and a very fine advanced run made by Sophie Schmidt, and Ireland managed to nick control of the ball. Denise O'Sullivan plays it out to Abby Larkin, Ireland's right hand side. Shiva goes driving down the line ahead of Abby Larkin, and Huitema managed to defend the out ball, and it'll be a throw in for Ireland just shy of halfway. Just under 13 minutes remaining. Marissa Shiva to take Ireland's throw in, and Shiva, like Sinead Farley, who emerged from the wilderness after Ireland secured qualification in Glasgow. Here's Katie McCabe, who's popping up just about everywhere at the moment. Ireland's right hand side now, cutting inside. Still Katie McCabe inside the area. McCabe might have gone down under the challenge, gets her shot away, and it's stabbed behind for a corner kick. Brilliant run by Katie McCabe, and it almost yielded a goal, but blocked behind for a corner kick. That's more like it from Ireland.
Yeah, and if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Katie McCabe. You know, she's getting behind these players. you can see what it means to her. You know, she's raising her hands here to the fans as well, and yeah, that was just a spectacular run. And yeah, we've got a corner kick again in another dangerous attack for Ireland, and hopefully we can get something on the end of this.
It's Katie McCabe to take it, Ireland's right hand side. She will swing it in with that trusty left boot of hers. It's a teaser for the goalkeeper who fits it clear, Caelan Sheridan, but only as far as an Irish player in the shape of Abby Larkin, sent all the way back to Marissa Shiva, who's the last Irish player back, out to Ireland's left hand side. Izzy Atkinson tries to deliver the cross, but it just cannons off the body of Chloe Lacasse. Marissa Shiva has it on halfway. Ireland with so many bodies committed forward. Marissa Shiva out to Ireland's left hand side, but it's a poor ball, but it's still there for Ireland as the ball goes out of play on the far side. It'll be a throw in to be taken by Megan Connolly in the 80th minute in Perth. Ireland still behind, 2-1 Canada lead. Katie McCabe so close to drawing the sides level just a few moments ago. Ireland with a throw-in on the far side, sent down the line for Amber Barrett. Boy, do Ireland need a goal now. They need some magic from Amber Barrett, far side of the pitch, and Jade Rivera stood firm, and it will be, well, the decision goes in favour of Canada despite the protests of Milford's Amber Barrett on the far side, and Vanessa Gilles goes across to take it. Gilles, who won the double with Lyon in France. So she's preparing to take this free kick, which was awarded as a result of that indiscretion from Ireland's Amber Barrett, and now Vanessa Gilles decides to leave as she's just wasting a few seconds here. You can hear what the crowd think. And Caelan Sheridan takes the free kick eventually, sent long in the direction of Christine Sinclair, who got her head to it. Nia Fahy is there to mop up for Ireland, all the way back to Courtney Brosnan, who has Marissa Shiva available on Ireland's right hand side, just inside her own half. Forward by Shiva for Abby Larkin on the spin. Great touch initially by Abby Larkin, and then the ball just drifted away and out of play on this near side. And Ashley Lawrence taking her time about the throw, and so the clock ticks on. Vera Powell watches on, and it's Canada 2, Ireland 1. Remember the scenario, of course. If Ireland fail to get at the very least a draw here, they will be out of the tournament. Still one game to go, of course, against Nigeria in Brisbane on Monday night, but ultimately it'll be a lost cause for Ireland because they cannot qualify for the knockout phase if they lose here this evening. Shiva to take the throw in for Ireland. Ireland's right hand side, halfway inside the Irish half. Huitema gets a touch to it. Sophie Schmidt is on to it for Canada. Huitema comes away with it, and Huitema trying to link up with Jessie Fleming. Ireland have it back with Lily Agg, straight to Jade Rivera, but Rivera in turn has gifted possession back to Ireland to Katie McCabe, who's playing in a very advanced role now, such is Ireland's need. Katie McCabe comes away with it. Still Katie McCabe driving forward, gets her shot away, but it's high over the crossbar as the rain starts to drift down once again. Katie McCabe from about 30 metres out from goal. Well, you'd back her to have a go at goal. She's scored some spectacular goals, of course, for Ireland and indeed for her club Arsenal, but off the radar on that occasion.
Yeah, she's playing absolutely out of her skin. You know, on another day that would have rippled the back of the net, but you know, she's trying, she's taking her opportunities when they fall in front of her, and you know, she's getting behind this team, and she's trying to push them forward because we need to get something.
Ball goes out of play on this near side, and Canada just dropping off. This is a good spell for Ireland, taking the game to Canada. Their need, of course, is great. They need a goal, an equalising goal, to maintain their interest in the FIFA 2023 World Cup finals, and they have it with Megan Connolly on the far side, and she manages to give the much celebrated and much vaunted Christine Sinclair the slip. Now Nia Fahy on Ireland's right hand side, halfway inside her own half, but she's gifted possession straight to Huitema. That's careless from Ireland. Huitema on the surge forward, goes down following the challenge from Lily Agg, and it's a free kick for Canada about 25 metres out from goal, just slightly to the left of the Irish goal frame. But that's sloppy from Ireland when they had possession, just under no great pressure whatsoever, giving away the foul in the end.
Yeah, silly mistakes again. You know, she'd so much time, and she just plays the ball into the middle of the pitch. There was a lot of options going down wide and even over the top there. It's just the wrong option Fahy took, and yeah, it's just resulted in a free kick, you know, outside their box in a dangerous position.
In the 39th minute of the second half, Jessica Fleming is over the dead ball, 2 in the Irish wall. You would have to imagine they'll swing it in. It's to the left of the Irish goal. Sophie Schmidt is there as well. So Fleming or Schmidt, the left of Schmidt or the right of Fleming. and it will be Fleming, right-footed. Oh, it's a tempter as well, but well defended by Nia Fahy, who got something on it. But Schmidt on the edge of the area trying to get onto it, and Chloe Lacasse lets fly. The ball breaks away, but Canada have possession inside the centre circle, and Jade Rivere, who made only one appearance for Manchester United this season, sends it back to her goalkeeper, who clears it downfield but straight to Nia Fahy, and Nia Fahy manages to deal with that. Marissa Shiva, that's loose from Ireland, gifting possession to Canada once again. This time it's Shiva who gave it away. Now forward by Quinn for Canada to Huitema on this near side, and Jordan Huitema just slows it down all the way back to Fleming, halfway inside the Irish half. Back with Ashley Lawrence, and Lawrence plays it to Fleming, back to Lawrence, just on halfway. Canada trying to mind the ball and protect it. Quinn does really well to nutmeg Denise O'Sullivan. Ireland trying to put the squeeze on Canada, sent forward by Lawrence, and the last touch came off Marissa Shiva and goes out of play on this near side. So just over 5 minutes to go. Canada 2, Ireland 1. Bev Priestman, the Canadian boss, just encouraging her team. Spent some time at Everton as well as been involved with the England team in the Phil Neville days. Here's the knockdown from Christine Sinclair. Feeds it wide now for Huitema. Huitema, the 22-year-old, to take on Marissa Shiva just inside the area. Needed to get the challenge right. Does really well. Marissa Shiva to come away with the ball for Ireland, and right-footed drives it forward, and the ball just breaks out of play. And there was a coming together involving Louise Quinn and Sophie Schmidt, and Louise Quinn just came out the worst of that particular coming together. She's of course sporting a black eye as a result of a challenge received in Sydney against Australia. It was a 50-50 ball, and just a stray arm there. You're looking on and you're puzzled.
Yeah, I am, because the Canadian player is saying it's a free kick.
No free kick. Shiva with a throw in the direction of Amber Barrett, who might have been a little frustrated not to see game time against Australia in Sydney, but she's on. During the course of the second half, Ireland looking for an equalising goal in Perth. The rain has stopped once again. Caelan Sheridan on the edge of her penalty area, right-footed, sends it down in the direction of Sophie Schmidt, who gets a flick on. Sinclair with the knockdown to Quinn inside the centre circle. Canada's right-hand side now with Jade Rivere under pressure from Katie McCabe all the way back to Caelan Sheridan, and she clears first time right-footed down into Irish territory. Knocked down by Nia Fahy to Megan Connolly. Denise O'Sullivan battling to try and win it back for Ireland, but Canada have possession once again, and they're posing a threat now with Fleming. Fleming just checks her run and plays it out to Canada's left-hand side. Lawrence infield now to Fleming, right-footed, and the knockdown from Christine Sinclair, trying to hook up once again with Jordan Huitema. So Schmidt is onto it, feeds it out to Rivere, and Rivere right-footed. An opportunity for Sinclair, trying to pull the trigger, and now Huitema with the attempt, and the ball, well, it's deflected behind. It will be a corner kick for Canada, with Huitema ready to pounce, but the last touch came off the Irish player, so it'll be a corner on Canada's right-hand side.
Yeah, brilliant tackle from Nia Fahy there. She needed to time that perfectly, and you know, it was another opportunity for Canada to go 3-1 up.
3 minutes to go, and Canada with a corner kick on their right hand side, and it will be an outswinger this from Fleming with the right boot. Plenty to aim at inside the area in the white and red of Canada. It's an outswinger towards the penalty spot, and up they go. Huitema with the header goalwards in the end, and it's claimed by Courtney Brosnan, and Brosnan bowls it out to Ireland's right hand side. Marissa Shiva charges forward. Well, that's a loose one from Shiva. She's given it away straight to Vanessa Gilles, and Gilles to Quinn, and Quinn does really well to retain the ball for Canada, trying to work it down the line. Lily Agg initially got something on it. Agg now in possession for Ireland. Back to Nia Fahy, and Fahy just rolls it back to her goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan of Everton. Out to Megan Connolly, who'll be looking for a new club after the World Cup concludes. She's unattached at the moment now. Izzy Atkinson getting forward down Ireland's left hand side, moves into a central position, trying to link up with Amber Barrett, but it's careless from Ireland once again, and Canada managed to clear their lines. Quinn is onto it for Canada. Lily Agg gets something on it, but it's the Canadians who have it once again through Jessie Fleming, and she bowls it out to the right hand side. Courtney Brosnan thought about coming. Lacasse is onto it. Sinclair waits in the middle. Lacasse inside the area. Chloe Lacasse trying to tee it up for Christine Sinclair, but she needed too much time, and Marisha Shiva comes away with it, and now it's Ireland on the counter-attack with Izzy Atkinson down that left-hand side, but broken up by Jade Rivera, and we'll be a throw-in for Ireland, far side of the pitch on halfway.
Yeah, it's end-to-end stuff here. They did really well to recover that, but we need to do better in possession with the ball. We need to do better when we're going forward. We're giving the ball away way too cheaply, and another failed throw. I think that's the third
Oh, that's so sloppy from Ireland. Well, no, in fact, it's going to be a throw-in to be taken by Izzy Atkinson on the far side of the pitch. As we drift towards the 89th minute in Perth, Ireland need to find an equalising goal. Lily Agg from the throw-in. Lily Agg, trying to think about the shot here. Lily Agg with the shot, but it's straight at Caelan Sheridan. Well, she got a hold of it all right, but just from that kind of range, lacked the power and accuracy to really stretch the goalkeeper, and Caelan Sheridan will take all the time in the world over the restart.
I wonder if Lily looked up there and saw the run from Amber Barrett, because Amber was straight in on goal if she had seen her, and you know, it could have been a different ending to that.
Megan Connolly feeds it out to Ireland's left hand side to Izzy Atkinson. Ireland in need of a goal. Atkinson dispossessed, far side of the pitch. Canada have possession just inside the Irish half with Jessie Fleming out to their right hand side. Sinclair, the vastly experienced Christine Sinclair, trying to combine down that right hand side with Chloe Lacasse, but Ireland have defended it well once again. Amber Barrett battling away to try and win it back. Katie McCabe will send it forward, looking for Louise Quinn. Quinn, the central defender, who's playing as an out-and-out striker at this late point of the game. 5 additional minutes to be added on. Shiva to deliver the cross from the right hand side, but it's claimed by Caelan Sheridan, and the goalkeeper goes down, claims the ball, and she will just wind down the clock a few more moments here. But Ireland trying to find an equalising goal in the dying minutes here. We're in stoppage time. 5 added on by the referee here. Not too many hold-ups, it has to be said, in the second half. Canada send it long downfield in the direction of Christine Sinclair, but one for Ireland by Niamh Fahey. Ball just breaks off Lily Agg, and Lily Agg and Jessica Fleming both going to ground, and the referee sounds a whistle, and that means that Lily Agg will receive some treatment. Jessie Fleming is back on her feet. So we're in stoppage time at the end of 90 minutes in rainy Perth, and it's Canada who lead here by 2-1. Vera Pauw's Republic of Ireland, after that brilliant start, goal direct from a corner kick from Katie McCabe, but they've been pegged back. An equaliser, a rather unfortunate own goal from Megan Connolly just before half time, and then Adriana Leon with the lead goal for Canada. That's how it stands at the moment. Canada 2, Republic of Ireland 1. Ashley Lawrence taking all the time in the world, much to the annoyance of Vera Pauw over this throw-in. Sends it in the direction of Christine Sinclair, but Ireland have it back once again. Sent forward by Denise O'Sullivan. Quinn gets something on it. Quinn onto it once again, trying to just shovel the ball forward. Ireland battling away through Lily Agg. Ball played out to Canada's right hand side. Far side of the pitch, Izzy Atkinson getting involved, but the referee has spotted an infringement, handball I suspect, on the part of Izzy Atkinson, and it's a free kick to Canada inside the centre circle. Meanwhile, Jade Rivera has gone down on the far side, cramped the issue there, it would appear.
Yeah, it looks like tired legs, to be honest, but I just think it's time wasting. You know, you can see by the throw-ins, you can see by the players going down at the moment, they're just trying to run the clock down, and it's frustrating for Ireland, but there's still another 5 minutes to go. There's still opportunities there, and we need to keep pushing forward.
So Jade Rivera at the moment receiving treatment. Cramp appears to be the issue. 2-1 Canada lead in stoppage time in Perth. Big few minutes coming up here for Vera Pauw and the Republic of Ireland. They've thrown the kitchen sink at it in the second half in terms of trying to get back into it. Vera Pauw making the changes to see if her team could find an equalising goal. So there's a stretcher going on for Jade Rivera at the moment. You'd have to imagine she'll get her second wind and be back on her feet, and up she comes. So the stretcher comes on, and Jade Rivera back on her feet, and she will slowly walk off on the far side and be waved back on. You can hear what the Irish supporters inside the ground think.
Yeah, absolutely, and rightly so.
And back off goes the stretcher on this near side. Jade Rivera will be waved back on. Last few moments in Perth. Ireland need to get one more chance. Alicia Chapman will be brought on by Beth Priestman very, very shortly to further wind down the clock here. But it is a free kick inside the centre circle to be taken by Vanessa Gilles for Canada. That change about to be made now, and Jade Rivera will stay off the field, in fact. So Alicia Chapman comes on for Canada in the dying seconds of the match here, and the free kick is taken, and it's swung out towards Ireland's right hand side, and it's headed out of play by Nia Fahy for Ireland, and the rain is drifting down once again, and Canada look set to claim all 3 points here. It looked so good for Ireland when they made that breakthrough in front of a huge Irish crowd here in Perth at the Rectangular Stadium. That corner kick from Katie McCabe, which sailed past Caelan Sheridan, but Canada have turned it around. Jordan Huitema up towards the corner flag on Canada's left hand side. Marissa Shiva is there for Ireland, trying to execute the clearance. It'll break though for Christine Sinclair on the edge of the area now. Fleming has it for Canada. Last few seconds in Perth. Schmidt involved, but they've over gilded the lily there. The ball goes out of play on Ireland's right hand side. Marissa Shiva with the throw in down the line. Chapman with the header, only as far as Lily Agg for Ireland, out to Izzy Atkinson, far side of the pitch. Is this it for Ireland in the 50th minute? 5 additional minutes. That was what was deemed necessary by the match officials. It goes out of play on the far side. This might be it for Ireland. Izzy Atkinson with the throw in. Katie McCabe is onto it now. What can she conjure up? Wide left position, delivers the cross, cut out by Vanessa Gilles. And Canada defending stoutly at the moment, and they have possession, and they might have an overload. Their
interest in this World Cup. It's McCabe with a cross and a header away by Gills.
All the way back to Courtney Brosnan. Brosnan a long way from her goal. Out to Ireland's right hand side to Marissa Shiva. Shiva will have to go long, pump it forward. Mr. Shiva sends it forward in the direction of Louise Quinn and also Amber Barrett. The ball just squirts away, and Vanessa Gilles with the attempted clearance, and in the end Jessica Fleming is fouled, and it's a free kick for Canada just shy of halfway, and Ireland's race at the World Cup is almost run. The 5 minutes have been and gone. Free kick to be taken by Vanessa Gilles for Canada, right footed, sends it forward, and Nia Fahy is there to head it clear, only as far as Jessie Fleming, who just pokes the ball out to this near side. Jordan Huitema to take on Marissa Shiva, and the touch came off the American-born player and goes out of play, and the seconds continue to tick away here in Perth. Canada leading by 2-1. Canada set to move on to 4 points. Ireland in danger of heading out of the tournament in their second match, beaten by Australia in Sydney through that Steph Catley penalty. Trailing here by 2-1 at the moment, as Sophie Schmidt just sees it out of play, and the clock is against Ireland. And you look crestfallen, Claire.
Yeah, I am. It's just devastating. I'm actually devastated for them. They've given everything to this tournament. They went head to head to, with top nations. It's just individual errors that let us down, and hopefully we can just get one more opportunity and it will come off for us. But in the second half of this game, absolutely nothing has gone our way.
Well, perhaps now Shiva to send it forward in the direction of Amber Barrett. The ball will bounce just on the edge of the area and run through to Caelan Sheridan, who's immediately closed down by Louise Quinn, and Sheridan has possession of the ball deep in stoppage time. Almost 7 minutes of additional time now played here in the Rectangular Stadium in Perth. Vera Pauw watches on. Caelan Sheridan bounces the ball, and the referee has blown the full-time whistle, and with it Ireland's World Cup aspirations come to an end. A second successive loss for the Republic of Ireland. Canada get the 3 points, and Ireland bow out. Canada, who trailed after that early goal for the corner kick through Katie McCabe, have won here by 2-1.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating. They've given everything to this tournament. It's just really sad that it's come down to individual errors again today. It was the same against Australia, and we went head to head with them in the first half, and Canada just took it up a notch in the second half, and it's just really disheartening to have witnessed this. And the Ireland girls can hold their heads high and be proud of what they've achieved. The whole country around them, and see the support here today is just incredible. It's just disappointing that their time in the World Cup has kind of come to an end.
Well, they achieved so much just by getting here, but Ireland bow out. They still have one game to come against Nigeria in Brisbane next Monday. But Canada victorious here, Marie. It's Canada 2, Republic of Ireland 1.
Thanks, Adrian. Not the results that everybody wanted or hoped for, but still, to get to the World Cup was a fantastic achievement. And looking around at the watch parties all around the country and the engagement, you would just hope that this is just the start for Ireland, Alan.
Yeah, 100%, Marie, and let this become the norm rather than the exception. That's the one thing I've taken from the build up to the tournament as well. The excitement, the hype, all the interest, as usual, the watch along parties, young kids, young girls, everywhere we've been. But you need to capitalise on this now, Marie. In terms of the football itself, I think the girls gave a really good account of themselves in both games against stiff opposition. We were very much in the game. The least we deserved, I felt, the first day out was a point against Australia. We obviously took the lead today, caught with a sucker punch right on half time. The response that we expected when we fell behind never really came. We huffed and puffed there in that second half. But this is elite level football, Marie. That's what you expect. You're up against serious opposition, and this is our first ever time to qualify. People need to be realistic here. First ever time to qualify for a major tournament. Let's build on it. Let's capitalise on it. There's plenty of young girls obviously coming through in terms of the squad as well. The emergence of Abby Larkin, Izzy Atkinson coming on in the second half, and you have to build on that. But in terms of the girls themselves, they've been be very, very proud of how they've acquitted themselves in both games. I felt they've done really, really well against tough opposition, and sometimes it just comes down to the fact that you lack that little bit of quality, and it's the elite level, as I say, Marie, and we're still very much building rather than being at that elite level.
Yeah, and you could see that Canada made some changes at half time. They were able to bring on Christine Sinclair, who is in her 6th World Cup, an absolute legend of the game, and they were able to really change the momentum and build on it in the second half. And from Ireland's perspective, Rebecca, I guess focusing on the encouraging play in the first half is probably what they will be taking away from this.
Yeah, 100%. I think Canada showed their experience at these kind of competitions. Obviously Olympic champions, that shone through, bringing on the 3 substitutions that they did. Obviously Sinclair, 324 appearances, 190 goals for Canada. That's amazing to be able to bring a player like that on, albeit she's 40, but look, you wouldn't be able to tell. But yeah, exactly, like that first half, up until the goal went in for Canada was exceptional from Ireland, and little old Ireland, as they say, nobody expected that from us, and I think they went from changing into tracksuits in 2017, previous to that year I should say, to now just changing the perception of women's football in this country, which is amazing, and I know that they've inspired a generation. Obviously we only look around here, there's more boys I've seen, little boys here playing football and playing around on the bouncy castles, and obviously little girls as well, so that's the start of it. They've 100% inspired a generation. They've just made us all so proud. I know they've made themselves proud. So look, they can take great positives from that first half and look, hopefully build for the future. Yeah, and there's so much excitement within that squad as well. You only have to look at Abby Larkin coming on there, and the future is so bright for her. She's at Shamrock Rovers. She has lit up the stage, I thought, at the World Cup, and to see her getting her opportunity. Izzy Atkinson as well, another young player. Katie McCabe is still so young. There is such green shoots for the future there as well, Alan. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We're an emerging country, certainly in terms of women's football, and that's what you want. Vera has to be given credit. She's the first one to get us there to a major tournament. Obviously when you think of the disappointment that has come before, but she's the one that's achieved it. People can question in terms of her setup and her approach and all sorts, but I don't think she could have done much else, to be honest with you, Marie. She was always like that in terms of the defensive sound shape, and then you're trying to transfer in terms of when you flick over the transition to try and go from defending into attack. And the hardest thing in football to do is create chances and score goals, and sometimes it comes down to the personnel as well, and do we have that elite level quality? We have Katie, we have Denise. Bar that, you're still very much trying to build for the future. Young Larkin looks like she's going to be a potential star as well, which is brilliant to see. She got her moment obviously when she came on against Australia, came on today, did okay when she came on as well. But it's difficult. We're at the World Cup, Marie. This isn't your European qualifying or anything. This is the World Cup. You're playing against the best teams in the world, against the best opposition, and you have to deliver. And because it's their very first tournament, I would allow them that kind of, and we're not looking for moral victories. The days of moral victories certainly I would feel are gone in terms of the men's football and the women's football, but I think you have to allow for the fact that it was us making our debut at a major tournament, and they acquitted themselves really, really well. Yeah, they did, and I think maybe the only bit that I found difficult was when I saw Katie McCabe in that more attacking role, what she was able to bring, and
could only just imagine if we saw her in that role all the time, what effect she could have in a game, Rebecca.
Completely, like that's the kind of best Kate McCabe, I suppose, is having her that final third of the pitch, you know, and it's just finding someone that will slot into that wing back position, you know, that Vera 100% has trust in, I should say. Obviously Izzy has came in there, still quite young, you know, wasn't in the squad before Megan Campbell got injured beforehand, or before they went out to Australia. So look, it's a big ask of her to come in and fill those kind of, you know, Kate McCabe's boots, I suppose. But look, that just needs to be another learning curve for Vera, you know, and hopefully, you know, we can bring on players and bring players through the system that will be able to fill those kind of boots.
Alan, just looking, there's Katie McCabe on the screen, and she has tears in her eyes, and you can just see her trying to hold her composure together. Denise O'Sullivan beside her as well. Vera, same thing. They gave everything out there.
Yeah, they can be so proud. And Katie, obviously, she's the talisman, if you like, of the team, and everybody, the media attention, the focus is on her. But Marie, there comes pressure on that. And did she deliver in both games? She was fantastic. she brought the energy, the aggression. Obviously the Australia game brought the fight, brought the heart, and most importantly what she brought the quality. She has so much quality, that girl. She's a serious talent. And in the second half she was carrying the fight to Canada there, even going on those mazy runs. And I would agree with Rebecca. Look, there'll come a time in terms of that you can kind of break down the performances and tactically analyse them, and that's one thing that people will say, and I've said it for long enough. It's such a waste to have her at left full and left wing back. She's too good, and that's no disrespect to left fulls and left wing backs. She's too good to be playing in that position, and you see her when she went centrally, the problems that she causes because of the quality that she possesses. And that would be my takeaway. Could we have got her in a more prominent role? Because we always knew we were going to be pinned back in a lot of those games, so we only seen glimpses of her in those attacking areas. But that would be one takeaway for me, that maybe we can get the emergence of maybe Izzy that can play there regularly. I know we lost Megan, which was
that back line, how they did it's phenomenal, you know, and I know they'll come away from this tournament, probably it being, you know, their first and maybe last major tournament, you know, with Ireland. They can hold their heads high. They've been great servants to the game here, you know, domestically. They've come right through the ranks, you know, at their clubs, Peamount, and obviously now at Shamrock Rovers with Anya, and Galway, Salt Hill Devon with Niamh Fahey. But they've been great servants to the game here, and yeah, look, they can hold their heads high as well.
There is a game on this evening as well, and there will be more of an in-depth analysis, but it is big picture stuff now, Alan, and as Rebecca said there, they fought tooth and nail to get women's football to where it is now, and they've passed that baton and left football in a brilliant place. Yeah,
100%, Marie, and it's up to somebody else to carry it forward, and obviously who better than Katie McCabe to carry it forward. It's in safe hands in terms of the baton being passed on. Such an inspiring captain as well, and Denise O'Sullivan and the like. So all those girls have played their part, but it's so important that we build on this now, Marie. This can't be just a case of we've qualified for one tournament and then fall back into the wilderness, if you like. People have to, in terms of the development of the game at League of Ireland level, you look at young Abby Larkin, she'll play, people can go and watch her every Saturday in the country, in Tala, that's where she'll play, in grounds dotted around the country. So we have to capitalise on that, bring more people through. And I think Vera should get a bit of credit as well, Marie. Like, people are quick to criticise managers, and it's tough, like, you know, even big decisions she had to make in terms of the squad. I wouldn't agree with all of them, but I think there comes a time where you have to say to the manager, she's the one that got us there, she deserves credit. We gave really good account for ourselves in both of the games, and we just came up short on quality, but that can be allowed when it's your very first tournament to qualify for me. But it's important that we build on that.
Absolutely, and it's been a great journey. It's not over yet. We have the Nigeria game to come next week, and we'll be live from Dalymount Park for that, and we will be celebrating the brilliant achievements of this Ireland team. For us here, though, today in Sword Celtic, that is it. Game On is continuing this evening, and there will be lots of reaction and analysis to today's 2-1 loss to Canada for the Republic of Ireland, and unfortunately the end of the road for them in that competition, but they will play once more. My thank you to Alan and to Rebecca. It's time now for your 3 o'clock news, a little bit late, and then it's the two Johnnies.